loads of beer. That's frozen, or you put gas in. There's ice there. It's like an iceberg, so I'm waiting for them to defrost. We've got some others again.
Yeah, we've got to wait for them to defrost anyway. I mean, they normally go for like a couple of hours, but if you can't do that, if you can only do an hour, just let me know and I can tailor the question.
A couple of hours fine.
Sure?
Bruce, he can go on forever.
Oh, what's the start?
It's quite scary, really. So you probably want to stop around 2 hours.
we could probably break the record for the longest one then, I think.
No. Let's not do that, please.
Right, are you all right if we just crack straight on?
Whenever you're ready, buddy.
We can get to know each other in the chat anyway. So
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right then. Folks, welcome to Bruta. I think this is episode 79. I'm not going to go. Tins on too.
Then.
How you doing, guys?
How weird little shit was that, wasn't it?
I'm just saying hello to myself, really.
This is crazy watching this.
You're on your beer already, so I'm going to join the fun. Bear with it. Let me open this.
Well, Faye's on
the keyboard.
Faye's having chasers. So she's on the Bacardi, Big Bottle and Estrella Chaser.
Oh my God, I'm in the land of the professionals here.
I'm on the Starro.
Right,
I've only got 30 of these, so I've made it a couple of hours.
Got 4.
Right. I'll get 10 minutes over.
He's already at 4.
Have you watched the rugby yet?
Which rugby?
Last night.
No, tonight's one, England-Ireland.
Oh, it's Union, though, isn't it?
It's Union.
What's that?
It's rugby union, that, though, isn't it?
Oh, you're not a Union man. You're a league man.
We play proper rugby up here. We're actual contact and that, we're big lads with it. You know what I mean?
None of that playground rubbish. Full on contact rugby.
Each other up and down.
Yeah, and then they catch the ball, then for some reason they just boot it again. You're like, why don't you run with it?
I played rugby league. I think I had 2 games and I got more concussions in those 2 games than I think I had in like 10 years playing Union.
It's surprising though, anyway, rugby. It's you do sort of get used to it, don't you? The impact.
Yeah.
That's what most people say. The hardest thing to get used to is the impact. I did it for about 20 years. But when you first start, them first couple of big hits, it's like... But you do get used to it.
Mate, the game I played in the 90s is so far removed, in Union, is so far removed from what they play now. It's just, oh my God! I don't think I would manage the kickoff anymore. I wouldn't even get to the ball. I don't think.
And the rules change every year anyway. Do you know what I mean?
They're
always changing the rules.
They always fidget with them. But you've noticed now, like I've looked in Union and League, the players like athletes now. They're not. They're not just big, swilling.
Yeah,
that's all we did it for. Played rugby, go and have a beer, and that was it. You know what I mean? And that was proper art of it. Now, they're all professional athletes, not carrying any fats, which is not good for me. But I'm all right down here because you can't see any lower than that, can you?
Yeah, he's got no trousers on.
Yeah, no trousers.
Me either. Yeah, you got to be relaxed for this kind of thing, don't you?
Oh, yeah. The secret handshakes on the table here.
Speaking of which, you two were quite nervous about coming on. Why?
We're quite
nervous.
You were nervous about coming on.
Right, it's all right watching other people doing this. It's all fun and games, isn't it? Watching everybody else doing it. And then when you get asked to do it yourself, you're like, right, the channel's only small. We only ask about. We probably delete more than we show. Because the swearing.
I swear all the time. I'm constantly swearing. I don't know it's because I'm a Scouser, and I'm swearing at Sean all the time. Yeah. And I think I was more nervous because I just want to be myself. And so when I become myself, I get annoyed at myself. So God knows what anybody else thinks.
Have you ever done that with a video? Watch one of your old videos back from like years ago and thought, that's not even me. I don't talk like that. I don't. And you're like, I've sort of forgot how to be myself on a camera. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you get you asking to come on this, and you're like, we've got to sound like right knobs.
I'm telling you, like you're saying you're only a small channel, and okay, you've not got 300,000 subs, but you are really popular. Really popular. There's so many people have said to me, "Can you get Sean and Faye on?" So there's loads of people out there that wanted you on.
Just
loads of people love your channel.
Just wait till people sit up. what it is.
No, yeah, I think you realise when you're getting stopped when you go to Aldi and the van turns up, goes, hey, and you're like,
oh, that's when you've made the big time.
Oh my God.
When you get stopped in Aldi, that's when you've made it.
And they want to talk to you. It's like, go away, go away.
Yeah, they want to talk to you. You know, yeah. How do you leave your chair? How do you clean your bike? Oh.
Right. The way we normally do it on here is I throw open to you guys initially, just to give it the old, you know, what's your name, where'd you come from, what you do. So I'll pass it over to you guys, Sean and Faye. What is Tins on Tour? What's it all about? How did you get where you are?
Multiple choice. Right. We sing, like, say, You're Around the World thing, Richie Vida.
I didn't mention that. I didn't mention it.
I know, I got told to get it in before you did. So somebody said you've been around the world on a sports bike, so I'll get it in first. So just watch Richie Vida and all that. I said, how funny would we have a go with that? And just not for put it on YouTube, but for watch it back.
Yeah. And
we had this shit 10 quid Aldi camera stuck to my helmet.
Was that when we went to France?
Yeah, to France, and you couldn't operate the barrier.
Yeah.
So we did that. No mic, just sort of shouting. It was basically loads of wind noise, loads of shouting. But the funny parts of it were great. I said, we'll have to get some proper cameras and give it a go. So we got the two drifts, which we're still using now, the trusty drifts.
They're not the same ones, are they?
Well, no, one is, yeah. Oh, that was it. You know, started, we only had one camera. I just had the camera.
Yeah, I wasn't.
So obviously there was no... The first time we did a dual vlog, because we was doing everything on this crappy little laptop using Windows Movie Maker.
Blimey, yeah.
So you couldn't put dual on, you couldn't put, you couldn't mix tracks, you couldn't do anything. You basically put it on, put the shots, and that was it.
Yeah.
And it went all right, and then you start watching everybody's channels, and you're like, oh, I'm giving that a go. Don't try to get famous, like just a bit. Oh, I might give it a go. And then that's where we went, didn't we?
Yeah, it just kind of went organically, just kind of evolved on its own, really. And people started to watch it, and then you get a little bit more wrapped up in it, don't you? And I think it just went with, and we just went with the flow.
Remember when our first video came out, after a week we had 10 views, I was over the moon with it. A week old, we got 10 views.
Those first sort of views and the first subs that come, like the first 1,000 subs are so bloody hard to get, aren't they?
Oh, they're a nightmare.
It took me forever to get that first 1,000. Years.
But what's saying now, we've sort of got to a point where we're just hovering about a certain amount. Like, I don't give a rat's ass how many subscribers you get. I'm not really that into it, I struggle a lot of time, we have loads of footage. I think if I've left it for about 2 or 3 weeks, I tend to not even bother. I won't bother putting it up. I just sort of I've lost the moment and it's gone.
Yeah. So, it's true, isn't it? Yeah, if you don't edit something straight away, especially the trip stuff, I think because you forget what happened and all the key points in it, that it becomes such a daunting prospect, doesn't it? To edit it, you just think, I can't be bothered with that.
And especially when you've been away and if you've not said on the camera what day it is or what have you, and you're trying to look at 3 different lots of footage and work out where you are, and you've not synced any audio up, but we're looking for the lamppost to try and get it right.
Good luck.
We're very critical of ourselves as well when we're watching, aren't we? If we're not liking it, we can't expect anybody else to like it, do you know what I mean? So a lot of the time, like you say, we've done a load of videos and just bin them.
Yeah, and you've got home.
It took forever.
Yeah, you've got home and realised they might leave, wouldn't even plug into the camera. You're taking your helmet off your seat, langing down, you're like, oh my God. And you're like, you put the SD card in, it's right. Well, that was for nothing.
What drifts is it you've got?
Just a Ghost S.
Brilliant camera.
Yeah, it never really let us down. The audio's, you plug the camera mic and it's all right.
Yeah,
but the audio's usually spot on. And like I said, that rotating lens is a godsend.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a godsend. So you just throw a camera anywhere, just rotate the lens. And we have a Hero 5 GoPro on one of them flexing options, just hands off back, like giving it this.
I got everyone's nerves with it.
When we started, you never even thought this was going to happen. You know what I mean? It's not happening. I'm not saying it's happened, but I'm just, you know what I mean? You're watching it going up, and you're like, you look like your channel and all the people's channels, millions of subscribers and all that, and they'll put a video out, and then an hour later, it's had 1,000. You're like, God, it's £20 an hour. And it's hard to get your head around it when you're looking at yours going up in 2s and 3s over days.
Yeah.
It's me again, folks. Sponsor time. This podcast is sponsored by Innov. Now, Innov sponsor the main TeapotOne channel as well. They produce the motorcycle dashcam systems. There's the single C5, there's the dual K series, there's the K2, K3, K5. I run the flagship K5 because it's got the 4K camera at the front, it's got faster Wi-Fi. Both the K3 and K5, they've got external mics, so you can even vlog with them, which is what I do sometimes. I use it as a backup. They have GPS information, so you can actually overlay the GPS info over your files, over your footage. That's something which I'll be covering at some point soon this year in TeapotOne vids. What else have they got? The K3 and the K5, they also have an external remote, so you can put that somewhere on the dash of the bike and you can use that to take pictures or lock footage as you go. They've got a parking mode, which means once that's activated, even once you switch the bike off and move away, if there's any movement of your bike whilst you're not there, the system automatically kicks in and it'll capture anything at the front or behind, anything that's in front of those cameras. So it's just another string to your bow should anything happen and you need to make a claim on your insurance. It's the first thing they'll ask if there is an accident. Is there CCTV? Without it, generally it's going to go a 50-50 unless you have a witness. But with CCTV, it can go 100% in your favour if you're not at fault. So a huge thanks to Innov. Folks, check out the show notes down below. If you're watching the vid, make sure you look at the vid description. I now have an affiliate link to Innov, so I get a little bit of a kickback. It doesn't cost you any more. And if you use the code TEAPOT, so TEAPOT, in any of the Innov shops, you will get 5% off of any camera. That also works for Techologic cameras as well. Make sure you head there to innov.co.uk, use the affiliate link down below. Let's get back to it.
It can be disheartening at times.
I think, I can totally relate to that because although I'm at a different stage in terms of subscribers, I look at mine and I'm the same. I'm looking at mine and then I look at somebody like TMF, so 44 Teeth, Moto Bob, people like that who are just like the next level up. Yeah. And I look at exactly what you just said. God, they've only been up an hour or a day and look at the views that they've got. And I'm like, geez, even some of my big vids don't get those views like over the last year.
When you said big vids as well, that's a bad one as well. When you've been on YouTube, you get what's this video about? You made up with it and it bombs. You're like, what? I've put some shite up the week before, just stood in garden.
And it does really well.
And it does really well.
Yeah.
They're flying around 20 events and all that. And like say that the cameras don't show the angles, they don't show the cambers and the hills, it flattens everything out. And you're looking at it, you're like, oh, they're steep this. And you watch it back on camera, you're like, I look crap.
I think now it's the reality TV for us. I think what people are liking is the fact that it's the banter between us two.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? I think that's what makes us stand out a little bit more than the others. Not that much, but it is that kind of rubbish reality TV that they want from us. Well, what's Sean doing? What's Faye doing? It's like, what are you doing together?
You're relatable. I think that's the key thing is you're relatable. You're normal people, and it's the relationship between the two of you which really comes across on camera. And it's definitely what has grabbed everybody because people had a quick read through some of the questions on Patreon, and it's not like what's your best bike, what's this bike, what's that bike. It's all about you guys. Everyone wants to know about you. So they've obviously they've invested into
they've gravitated towards
like
that,
the characters. Yeah, for sure. So you guys
how do you know about thinking on this channel? Like, how do you go on about when somebody asks you something that's already been said in the video clearly and so damn well they've not watched the video, or they've seen the first part of what they're relating to. Yeah. And you think, right, they've seen the, and then they've typed the question straight away, and you're like, it's answered the video. It irritates. One of the things that irritate me that.
If I do, hang on, what's happened there? I just heard a funny noise. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
All right, lovely, I just heard a funny noise, as in something had given up, but everything seems to still be working. I'm recording.
It's clear as a bell, aren't we? Like, so this is the first time we've ever used this webcam. We didn't even know it works. It's got like a slide on top. like, it's not working. Then you click it. Oh shit, we're there.
Yeah, I think if I do reply, I went through a stage. I always wanted to reply to every single comment if I could. Sometimes it's just sometimes it's just not. It's not possible, is it? But I still try, especially on the YouTube Studio app. It limits you to like the last dozen or 20 odd questions, doesn't it? And then they disappear. You have to go into a separate place to find them after that.
I won't know that.
So I normally I'll check my comments on the notifications and I'll answer whatever ones are there. That it lets me. So normally like the top, the most recent 20. And I got a little bit peeved with it with YouTube, certainly last year for sure. With all the shit that was going on with lockdown and everything, it was just a horrible time of life, wasn't it, at one stage? And
absolutely.
Some of the comments where maybe I might have ignored before, I started nipping back. I just, all right, you're having two barrels at that, and you realise very quickly it's just not the way to go. Just don't do it.
It's not.
But then comments
it's
like you just
said,
do
it, isn't it? It's hard to not.
When it's like what you said, where
how many times have you wrote something and then deleted it?
Yeah, I've done that many times.
You've spoke your mind, you've told them what you thought and all the rest of it, and then you're like, no, I better not do that.
But then you get, as you said, you get people who they'll start watching a vid and then they'll ask a question, and you're like, that's in the vid. So
it's the whole part of the vid. That is the video.
You've not watched it. Or I mean, I get people who are honest and they go, look, I've not watched the vid, and they ask a question. And I'm just like, I don't understand. Why? Just watch the vid. Watch the vid.
It's a 15-minute vid. It's not
I know. And it's there, and I'll tell you I'll give you all the information that you want. So sometimes I do get a little bit like, oh, what is going on here? But it's just human nature, isn't it? Just...
Then you become more complacent, don't you? You become more complacent, more patient, and you just let it go.
I've found myself less patient. I've got to be honest. Yeah. I've found myself getting less patient and less tolerant with some of the they're not trolls, but just some of the crap that people.
Well, they probably are. A lot of them are. They're looking for moments of fame.
Yeah, or I mean, sometimes when I have answered some comments that people have made. And I've said this before in a podcast, that I'll take a comment one way, but when you reply and go, that's a little bit insulting what you've just said, and you give some sort of explanation behind it, a lot of the time people will actually reply and go, God, no, I didn't mean it like that.
Yeah.
And whether they genuinely didn't mean it,
it's usually people trying to... It's hard to say it without upsetting it.
Wrong, don't I? I tend to read the comments wrong, and Sean has to give me the right light. He goes, oh no, you don't mean that, babe. And I'm going, oh God, I've read that totally wrong.
It's very easy to do, isn't it? If you're in a bad mood, you can take things all manner of different ways, for sure. It's a weird medium, isn't it? The written word is such a weird sort of medium to communicate.
The trouble is, I've not got patience at best of times. I've proper not got patience for it. And like everyone says, how the fuck are you on YouTube? You're an angry person. I'm like, you never see any angry comments. Like I said, I'm just trying. It goes in one ear out the other. I'm actually not that bothered with it. I just hide. And if any bad comments come in that maybe involve fair, I'll just delete them and block them. So they don't see them. Because I can take it. It's a bit like, but when they start, remember when we were in Andorra, and this comment come up. We'd done like a bit of a live video, like you put it up on laptop. But this comment come up, and it went, 1, your wife's old.
Oh, yeah.
2, she's not. He's giving it all that.
I didn't get to see that.
So I got to the point to type in fucking Bella type thing. And then delete it, just blocked him. I wanted to give something back, and I thought if I give something back, he sort of got me. Then he's put his line in, got me, and I've bit.
Yeah, I have definitely bet a few. I had some people saying stuff about when I did a teaser vid, a trailer vid for the world trip, and some people started saying stuff about my mum, and that really hit home.
It does, doesn't it? It's a nerve. I think they do that on purpose.
Bear in mind where I used to work, I was like, I could quite easily find you. And then I thought, no, I better not.
I was going to say, in your job, like, you could probably track them down. But obviously, much difficulty. And you're like,
But we can agree that, like, a good 90% of it is all in goodwill. And it's all...
Yeah, the majority of the time.
Really, really nice.
Totally.
I sort of worry about people, when they probably get like, what's actually wrong with you?
Yeah.
If you don't like a video, you just switch off, watch something else. There's loads on the same subject, no matter what it is. There'll be loads of them. It's like, switch off and watch something else.
Yeah. It's true, isn't it? You could get 99 comments that are all amazing and just the best parts of people. They're awesome. And you get one that just...
overrides it all.
Overrides everything. It's ridiculous, but it's true. It does.
How many do we get? Go on.
No, go on.
No, saying we get our main... It's not a bad problem. Also, most of it's fun because we're northern, and I'm like proper northern. Not even any intention of trying to speak in the Queen's English, right?
And I don't hide my accent.
And you don't hide yours. The amount of grief we get for accents, and I can't understand the word you're saying. You say, "Well, wait, I live in the middle of the country, and I must understand everybody, Geordies, Southern, whoever. But I can get about it. I think you need fucking get out more, mate. I think you need to get out and just if you can't understand a word." I think you've not lived. What's wrong with you?
I agree. When I get people saying that to me as well, and I'm like, exactly what you just said. It's like, well, if I can understand the vast majority of people that are out there when they talk, then gee whiz, what's going on when you're saying you can't understand a thing I'm saying? But anyway, listen, this is all very negative to begin with.
Let's fire on. Not. No, we're very humbled by it all, really, to be honest with you.
I know we're talking like all big and hard and all that, but we're proper humbled by this.
Yeah.
It frightens me sometimes. When you wake up in the morning, if you put a video on late, you wake up in the morning, you see some like 3,500 overnight, and you're like, wasn't that good? But it's like,
no, it is very humbling.
Gives you a twitch, doesn't it?
It's weird, isn't it, that people invest their time like into your life.
Oh, it tinges me that it bowls me over that. I can't get my head around that. Like just a normal lad that's always skint. Everything we've got, everything we've got so far. We've got no money.
Most people are like that, man.
People said to you like, "Oh, you must be all right for you." It's all right for me. I mean, bloody that's up to the eyeballs with this, but I'm trying to live my life best I can.
Well, I think that's what it is. We find enjoyment and happiness wherever we can. That's the main
thing. It costs a bit of finance. That's all be it.
I think most people are like that, to be honest. I've been since I did the taxes for last year. The tax man stung me massively. I've sort of been in this little place for the last couple of months thinking, God, is this worth it? Because I'm like, I haven't got a penny in the bank. Literally, what comes in goes out every single month. I'm like, I'm 45 years of age now, and I'm probably worse off financially than I was when I was.
You look so much younger.
Thanks very much. And then I'm like, oh no, should I stop playing at this and just go and get a proper job again? It's weird. It's a weird place to be in at the moment. It really is.
But when you went full time with YouTube, how long did it take before you knew I'm going to be all right here, or was it a while you thought I'm going to struggle?
Honestly, month to month, I don't know if I'm going to be all right. Literally, I left the old bill with a little bit of a safety net in the bank, because I wasn't sure how it was going to go, and I'm glad I did because COVID cleared me out. I lost most of my sponsors, and couldn't do my tours. So 2 years of COVID pretty much cleared all that out, and now it's. Well, I mean, it's business. Sponsors need to see some sort of return.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not got to get I can imagine.
But it's quite hard. I think it's quite hard for them, especially in the biking industry, because this is a very new market for them. Online YouTube is a very new market for them. So I think a lot of them don't know how to quantify or qualify like a sponsorship. Like what should they get back from it, and what should I give them, what should they give me? So we're in really sort of uncharted territory, really.
New ground,
it is, and there's more and more and more people coming in all the time into the sort of
there is,
motovloggy market. So I don't know. It's weird. I've chatted about this on the podcast before. It's sort of uncharted territory for me. Being self-employed plus in a totally like new niche. You're like, oh God, is this normal? Should you charge more? Should you charge less? And
that's the thing, isn't it? You still got to make ends meet, haven't you, no matter what happens end of month. Mortgages, whatever still needs paying.
I don't want, for me personally, I don't want my channel just to be a billboard. That's horrible. And I've been accused of that already. And you're like, that's the last thing you want. But as you said, you've got to pay bills, haven't you? You've got to try and find that sort of level ground somewhere where you can attract sponsors in, but at the same time stay genuine to who you are and and not
you
force
put a lot
people.
of in your videos. You put a lot into the editing side of it, don't you? So yours are like a production piece of proper watchable quality, aren't they? I was like cut and shut type things. Mainly what if I ever did know how to do it to your quality, I don't think I could be asked. And that's nothing. I don't mean it negatively. I work full time. I'm knackered every day. I don't. I can't, 2 hours of that computer's enough for me. I'm done then.
I totally get you. But I'll be honest with you. I don't think it makes a blind bit of difference. You know, like
that's what I was going to say. That's
I really don't think it does.
Yeah.
Most people.
Have you ever done one you've cut and shut it and it's done as well as a one that you've spent?
Yeah. I did a fairly recent one. I think Back to Basics or something I called it. I just jumped on the bike. My wife actually said to me. It was my wife that said it. And that one did way, way better than I thought it would because it was just a simple... I think I had two cameras, helmet camera, cockpit camera, but I did no bells and whistles with any editing, just whacked it in, buff, out it went. And it was probably done better than most of the other stuff. So,
it's weird that at times you can't, there's no way you can say when a video's going to do well, unless you say you've crashed something and that's the type of crashed.
Yeah.
You clickbait it. Moving buttons.
Yeah.
And, the hotel was just off a roundabout. You got it on that, was it Secret Escape or whatever? Something, but it was like some 5-star hotel for 70 quid. So we got it.
Days.
Yeah, it was like a stunner.
Northern.
Yeah, I was fucking over the moon, me, honestly. Quick enough. So anyway, she was coming to me. We seen where it was. See the hotel, couldn't get to it. You get to this and go round this roundabout.
Yeah, I know. It's because in Europe, as you know, you've got your two main roads and then you've got little roads.
And then the side roads.
Other roads.
So on the nav, it looked like it was on this main road. So you come off this roundabout, couldn't get to it. So we're looking down, I'm looking around like that. Looked up at a van and stopped in front of us. I thought I was going to hit. Go in your head when you think you're going to hit something. You're like, there's no way I'm stopping. I was on Africa Twin.
Yeah.
And there was no control brake in a way. It was just handful of brake.
Yeah.
And it just, I was back far.
You would have failed in mod 1 for that.
I'd have failed in mod 1 for that. Yeah. They stalled it. But we got away with that. And then I put the video up. I thought, you're going to have to make most of it. Like, so I said, nearly crashed the Africa Twin. And it flew. And you're like, you fucking nasty bastards.
Yeah, but it's true, though. It's true, isn't it?
You want to see us crash.
Yeah, people don't want to see it happen. They just want to see you fall down, skipping down the road.
Blood, tears, and flesh. That's what gets the views.
Lex Malta, Michigan, when you was practicing for your mod 1 things and you crashed into the curb and fell off. And with the video of that, I let the pants on with your ass in her, and that was a thumbnail going over. Something like that.
I wish those leathers fit now.
Oh, Jesus, COVID, isn't it? COVID. No fits in me anymore.
Great leathers, though.
I had a space of about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, my last sort of year or two in the old bill, I had a space of about 18 months where I think I had 4 accidents, just all one after the other, all commuting in and out of London. And not a single one did I have my camera on.
Oh,
I was just like, oh, what? It's like the YouTube gods just going, there you go, there you go. And every time I didn't have the camera, I was like, oh, what?
Oh, I used to watch your videos back then when you like all the community stuff and that. And like, and you think, because you've got to filter, haven't you? Not anywhere in London if you didn't filter, but you know it's going to end in sooner or later. You know it's somebody's going to do something stupid and you're going to be off.
Do you know, all mine weren't filtering. All mine were sort of not open road, but you know, it was just I had somebody pulled out from a side junction and basically T-boned me. I had a young lad do a U-turn right in front of me. What else did I have? Oh God, all sorts. But I miss it. I do miss the commute. I've got to tell you, I miss because it's a bit of a battle. Yeah, it's like a dogfight almost, and I miss that in and out of London.
I'm a wagon driver, mate. I don't miss commuting.
No.
Honestly, I hate being on motorways. I hate, it's because people are going to all the new stuff on bikes with radar guided cruise control. Like, it's been on wagons for years. We all on wagons have got them. Like,
yeah.
First thing you do when you get in wagon, you switch all three things off. First thing you do. So on wagons, you don't. It is radar guides, but cruise control, and keep you behind the car and all that. Yeah. But it's also got automatic emergency braking. So somebody pulls out on you, fucking wagon, stop. Everything back at van goes bang. Shit's everywhere. It just doesn't do it honestly. So honestly.
I couldn't imagine a wagon shit. That's the thing I couldn't imagine.
It does, it's everywhere. That's I like it. Honestly, so first thing you get in, it's 3 buttons there, everyone's turned off before you set off.
So where do you deliver then? Do you deliver like nationwide or just?
I used to. I've done Europe and everything, but at the moment it's just around the northwest delivering beer to pubs.
Happy days. How much of it actually gets to the pub, Sean?
I know.
None of it hardly comes out. I'm like, doesn't bring any wine in for me.
His employers might be watching.
Yeah.
I think they know.
No. Sometimes you do. Sometimes if you're in on a Saturday, they'll have take whatever you want for whatever,
Yeah, you pay $5 and it's whatever you can carry type thing.
Very little cakes.
Yeah, except a bad bar.
Mate, it's a job. It's a job. It helps pay the wages. It helps pay the bills, doesn't it? So.
Yeah.
Have you ever done one of these that's gone into 2 days?
Into 2 days? Nearly.
Sunday morning we'll be like that.
I think the record is it 4? 3.5 or 4 hours, I think, is the record.
Oh, I've heard. Once I've had a beer and start having that safe. No stopping me. Well, of course.
Right, well, I'll tell you, there are loads of questions across Patreon, Instagram and Facebook. So,
any of Brian Jones?
Yes,
no,
there is.
Leave Brian's.
He had a beer.
So you've got to the other night, I told him to. So he'll be watching this now as if it was like. I know it's not live, but he'll be watching this now as it's live, won't he? Waiting for this, Brian, old pal. That'll be a good one. That'll be a good one.
Me again. We're also sponsored by Ultimate Addons. Now, I've got a set blurb that I could read out, but you've heard it a million times before if you're a regular listener to this podcast. Ultimate Addons, they produce mobile phone and action camera mounts for any bike or bicycle. You have to buy the suitable case for your phone. They do generic ones as well, but most of the time they'll have a specific case just for your phone. You then have to pick your mount. Now, I use something called the Helix strap mount. It's in their bicycle section actually, but I find it's the best one for me. It's the most versatile. It's nice and easy to put on and off. So for me, when I'm reviewing lots of different bikes, I can just whack it onto the handlebars. There's almost always somewhere where I can attach it. And most importantly, I have had no issues due to vibration affecting my phone's camera when I use that. I know other people have had with lots of different other sort of mobile phone mounting solutions from loads of different brands. Using the Helix strap with Ultimate Addons, I've had none. So again, head to ultimateaddons.com. If you use the code TeapotOne10, then you'll get 10% off. A big thanks to Ultimate Addons for their support. Let's get back to the chat.
Right, let's start then. We'll head to the clan over on Patreon. So folks, that's patreon.com/TeapotOne if you fancy joining. First one, Crazy Legs on a Bike. Ask him how he deals, ask Sean, how do you deal with negative comments on the vlogs? Well, we've had a chat about that, haven't we?
Yeah.
To be honest, nowadays, it's delete and block. Honestly, I have got to the point, like you said, I can't even be asked. But I don't even read the full comments anymore. I read with the first 3 lines. It's like, I can't be bothered with it. You don't want to start it reading, like I say, 9 out of 10 are brilliant, aren't they? They're all really, really good. And it's usually the same people, and you probably have the same people comment on that. You sort of have this little thing going, it's great. And then you'll always get one on that says, like, how are you doing it wrong? And you're like, yes, does it matter to you? Are you bothered? I say, I'm not saying I'm dead good, but I've been doing it for a while now. I've been riding bikes 30 odd years on road. You know what I mean? I've owned sports bikes, motocross, I've raced a bit, I've done beach race, I've done all sorts, only bits of it. like a jack of all trades. And so now it's like just delete and block. I don't even entertain them now. We can help it.
What I'll do now? Sorry, Faye. Sorry, what was that?
I'm just saying that's the best way, really, isn't it? Don't get engaged in it. You know, don't get your blood rushed. Just cut it out.
Well, I mean, if it is just insulting, you know, if they are just like calling you a prick or something, then I just delete. But if someone's being critical or overly critical or negative in what they're saying, what I'll do is I'll reply and I'll basically go, look, this is what I'm taking from what you said to me. If I'm wrong, let me know. But let's assume I'm right and this is what you said. Okay, this is my reply, and I'll try and be constructive with it. I won't just go, you're a prick. I won't say that. You know, I'll kind of go, look, I don't think you're right here. I don't think you're right there. Okay, I can see your point on that. I'll try and be balanced if I'm going to take the time to reply. Yeah,
if there's anything you can be balanced on, sometimes there isn't.
Sometimes it can.
Sometimes you can't actually get stupid, can you? You know what I mean? It can't be done.
Or other times you write a tirade of abuse. Don't post it. Just leave it. Walk away, come back the next day and have a look and go, I can't post that. Or
I've done it plenty of time. I've had a big long thing there, and you look at it, you're like, no, I better not. Delete and block. See you, pal.
It's difficult to begin with, though, isn't it? When you want to grow your channel, and
you take it personal, don't you? Well, I think when I first started,
I think one of the things I really get from YouTube in particular, what really helped grow the great little community that I've got, particularly around YouTube and now across the socials, is I think because I did reply to all the comments, and I made a point of replying to all of them, and you sort of start, as you said, you start getting the same people commenting all the time, don't you? And although you might never ever meet those people, you get to know the names and you build up a little bit of a relationship, and people sort of people bond with you and the channel then, don't you? And that's how you start getting this community. So the amount of people that said to me, "Oh, no, don't bother reading the comments. Just don't read the comments." I can't do that. I think as you said, 99% of people are taking the time to leave a comment for whatever reason. So I'll try and reply if I can. But it is tough, isn't it? A lot of the time, you just have to both. Yeah,
you've got to be thick-skinned at times.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Right, cheers for that, Crazy Legs. Next one, Charlie Callard. Evening all. Evening, Charlie.
Evening.
No obscure one for me this time, mate, unfortunately. So my question is to you all. I'm planning on doing Land's End to John O'Groats next year, 837 miles in less than 24 hours. Have you any tips or gear or products that you would recommend I look into? I'm doing that as well, Charlie. I'm actually doing it with Brian Jones and Steve.
Yeah.
And we've advertised it on our channel as well.
Yeah, have you? Thank you very much. I haven't even done it yet on mine.
I actually said, Sean, why aren't you going with them?
Come with us. Come and do it.
Yeah.
Mate, we'll end up in a pub. It'll take us 98 days.
Look, you kids, Brian and Steve will be as well.
We'll be leathered. We'll be leathered, naked, and it won't end well.
Anyway,
that's John O'Groats. That's John
O'Groats. He needs to take. He needs a wild horse. That's what he needs.
A wild horse.
Yeah. Oh, that was the first thing we ever got given free. You know, I remember your first thing somebody sent you for free.
Visor cat. That's what I got. Yeah.
What did you get? What was your first free thing?
It was a thing called. I've still got it. Still use it. It's a thing called Visor Cat, and it's like it's a white thing. Yeah, it squeaks when you wipe.
It's basically you always put the noise on when it was doing it.
Yeah, well, no, that's the noise. That's the noise it makes. It's not me adding it. That is the noise it makes. Yeah, it is. Yeah, genuinely.
Have you not put that noise on?
No. That's genuinely.
Oh shit, mate! I thought you did.
No, everyone did.
Yeah. But
that was Kevin Marcy's found a really good noise for that, and it does match what's happening.
Well, that was the actual thingy.
Sorry, Finn. Every time.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, it's clear as house. I loved it. Oh, we was he got in touch. Was it Addons? Somebody got in touch anyway. And then we were setting off on tour. We was going down to Bournemouth, up there for meeting good see cousin, then we was getting the ferry to Spain. And the morning we were setting off, postman turned up, inbox this big. Well, I thought it was. There was an fender extender in it. It was a massive box. The fender extender wasn't that big, but
bloody hell, they cost a fortune.
I know. Well, they sent us two, a carbon fibre one, the shiny one, and they also sent us, I don't know whether you've seen them, called Wild Ass seat covers. Gel and air. like the best of seat cover. You like seat pads?
Oh, they're fantastic.
So you blow them up. It's got like a proper valve. You blow them up.
It's like an airhawk thing. Yeah,
it's like air up, a dead posh one.
Yeah,
just yelling air. So you blow it up, you sit on it, let the air out, so you just about to it, and then fasten it. And we said, we'll put them on. Oh my God. It massages your ass, and so you do this as you're riding along. You don't get
do that again. There'll be housewives going crazy, Sean.
I know, yeah. What's saying?
Yeah, chaffing a bit.
Because the seat on the Africa Twin isn't that comfy, to be fair.
It's horrendous.
Yeah, I'll be honest, it's probably the hardest. It's probably the worst seat on any standard bike.
On any bike at all, yeah.
Yeah.
It's torture
I don't know
device.
what bike has he got. What bike has this guy got?
Charlie's recently, I think, sorry if I'm wrong here, Charlie, but I think Charlie's recently passed. So I think he has have you got a 600? I don't know why I'm asking the camera.
I know,
You've been talking back as well.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's my suggestion. What's yours?
Yeah, well, I said being comfortable. If you're comfortable, you'll do it, no worries. The minute for us, the minute you start feeling uncomfortable, your mind sort of magnifies it.
Absolutely,
and the longer you go on, the worse it feels.
Yeah, definitely.
To the point where you start, the minute you stop enjoying it, for me, that's time to pull over and get a brilliant. And
it plays on your mind as well, doesn't it? When something's not quite right. Like today,
you focus on it, don't you?
And I was wearing me textiles, and I was like, "Oh, why have I put these textiles on? I should have my leggings on, or I should have my jeans on."
Yeah, she's clung on to these textiles. Now, we've had COVID waves and everything. We've all had it. And it's like, well, you just jump off wardrobe while I'm holding pants to get in. I'll get your braces on, won't I? So because you can't get off bike out. And we've only having short legs. When we stopped, when we started this, we were going to start this video, and I was going to be like that. My favour was going to be there. I was going to start doing it. I just forgot all about it.
You've got to be comfy.
So were you? Because you struggle, like...
I couldn't have my legs wide enough.
I was going to say, you could throw your legs last.
I just couldn't. And
Brian's going to be thinking now.
Okay, man, there's so much I could say. Good job I've only had one beer, I tell you.
Yeah, so even though the bike's SD's been lowered, she still has to sort of, do a bit of the old side saddle and get a foot down. So with these textiles, you were struggling a bit today, weren't you?
Yeah.
So, for me though, if somebody's going to do something like that, like I've done it on motorways, and I'm going back now, about 20 years ago. I don't know what time we did it, but it was like a steady ton most of the way. Back in the day when everybody used to do that, like I was on a ZX7R, and we were all on sports bikes, and it were basically pretty much triple figures until you ran out of fuel, fill up and do it again. We did it then. If somebody ever asked me what's the best, I'll just be comfortable, wear comfortable clothes, and be comfortable on the bike. Before any of the distance is distance. It's still 800 miles. For how you look at it, it's 800 miles, isn't it?
Definitely.
Be comfortable.
Yeah. And when you get cold and wet, for me, it was always cold and wet.
That's what wear the right gear. Just wear the right gear that's comfortable.
Yeah. Once you're cold and wet.
Yeah. No, it's over, isn't it? It's over.
Horrible. I'd say, Charlie, for me, I would say before you do it, spend as much time as you can on the bike. Get used to spending time on the bike and putting miles in.
Miles on the saddle, innit?
Yeah.
Get bike fixed.
Absolutely. I've said this time and time again.
Yeah,
it's no different to like if you haven't played football in years and then you go and have a game of footy, you're going to be in tatters.
Yeah.
Not only during the game, but the next day, for the next few days, you're going to be in bits. So riding a bike's no different. If you're used to riding to and from the calf or spending a couple hours on a bike, and then all of a sudden you go and do 840, 1,000 miles in a day.
You'll be in bits.
Yeah, you will be in bits. So just spend a little bit of time beforehand and get used to being on. Yeah. And then when you stop to fuel up, people always look at me weird when I say this, but when you stop to fuel up, just have a wee stretch.
We always do it.
Yeah.
That's the first thing we do. We stretch about and all that. And,
absolutely. Yeah.
Because you get people getting off and just have the gabbing. Yeah, we get off, get a brew, have a good stretch, and you know what I mean?
Squats and
better keep fit. Right?
You start.
You plank. I've been watching you doing the plank.
Don't. Honestly.
What are you up to now? 25 minutes or something, Daft?
Oh, God. I don't know how people can do 7 minutes. It killed me with 3 minutes.
I saw you do 3 minutes, and I was like,
did
"Oh
3
my
minutes.
god!"
I was like, "Wow."
I get to 30 seconds, I'm shaking like a shitting dog.
Well, I am shaking.
Come on.
Yeah, but it coincided with, like you say, being bike fit, and so I'm doing it every day, but I'm not putting it up every day because it does get boring. But when there's something, that's a little bit more interesting, then I'll put it up again. But it does coincide with being bike fit. Get you
Good on you.
And on a Groats Land's End, or the jog, whatever you call it, for me as well, depends whether you're a morning rider, night rider, whether you're all right riding dark, and as to what time you set off. For me, a lot of people, like I said, set off 2 o'clock in the morning from whichever way you're doing it. A lot of my mates can't ride it dark. They're not a lover of riding it dark.
I don't like it now.
If she doesn't like it, I'm the opposite. I love being it dark on the bike in the waggy. I find it I can make progress better. I don't sort of get distracted by whatever, and you can make good miles.
Yeah.
Some of my mates wouldn't be able to do it in dark. They'd want to get up about 6 o'clock and then after it as far, and then just go done. So,
I've got absolutely no idea what the plan is for ours, because we're not touching motorways. We're doing all back roads.
Oh, brilliant.
Because it's for charity, so I think it's for cancer research.
When are you doing it?
I'm not sure. It's June sometime.
All right, I'll message Brian.
Steve and Brian have organised it. I'm sorry, boys. Steve and Brian have organised everything. So I'm literally, I think we've got a hotel. Yeah, good lads. We've got a hotel down Land's End the night before we start, and a hotel up at John O'Groats for when we finish.
Nice.
So I turn up and ride, and hopefully I don't slow them down.
No, you won't.
It's good to be following somebody as well, and somebody else to do with a plan. That's one of the things when we go out with them now and again.
I can't believe how fast it
is. To be fair, we're always 2 up with
that. Yeah. I would never be on my own bike if I'm behind today. Defo not.
They do the Royal British Legion. What's it called? The RBLR 1,000 miler. I always do that around June time, and they do it as well. And I did it a couple of years ago. Well, before COVID was the last time I did it, obviously. And my technique was always get off the start line, get to the front, and just peg it. You want to be first back, don't you? And there was there were a couple of lads at the front who were really going for it, and it was like, we overtook them, but I was like, we're doing some serious speed to get by you. And normally people don't, that crowd don't normally ride like that. Turns out it was these two, wasn't it?
I can imagine.
They've beaten me every year. They've beaten me because I'm like always stopping for fuel, and they just woof straight by.
Yeah.
It's no distance. Like we did the Paris for breakfast, didn't we?
Yeah.
We set off at 2 in the morning, and we said, let's see if we can get to Paris for breakfast. And we was having breakfast at 10 in Paris. So we set off at 2 in the morning, down to Channel Tunnel, blasted down there. That's when the fuel gauge went on the GS, didn't it?
Yeah.
And we was having breakfast in Paris at 10:30, and then we were shit first by 6, weren't we?
By 7.
We was. Well, 11 o'clock we were on keg after riding all through night. So it's throwing Gale down.
I think it just goes to show if you want to do something, you just get up and you get on with it.
Absolutely.
And it's just a fantastic weekend.
It's good when you've got a destination, when you've got somewhere to aim for.
Yeah.
Try to do 800 miles on its own when you've not got anywhere to aim for. It's a lot longer than what people think. Yeah. People think like, I've done 500. That extra 300 is a lot. It's a lot more. It is a lot more.
Especially once you're tired.
Once you're tired, your ass is gone, you're cold.
Yeah.
Because you could be doing this, it might piss down from morning till night. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It will do in June, won't it? It will do. But I've got my Rucker kit now. I've invested in Rucker, so I should
you won't
be all
go
right.
wrong then.
When do you finish paying for that? When you're 50?
I think, 2 years or 3 year finance.
5 more bikes time.
Oh, mate. Jeez, yeah. I've got to take my blooming GS is shat itself. It dumped all the coolant on me yesterday. I was doing an off-road day over in Salisbury Plain yesterday, and it dumped all the coolant on the way there, and then I topped it up to come back, and it dumped it all on the way back as well. I was like, oh no. Could get
I
expensive.
had that with an R1 many years ago, the early carburetor R1s. I've had 2 of them, and they had a problem with the hose clamp coming loose. And that was saying, but the coolant came out, so it's all over my feet and all over my tyre. So that wasn't brilliant.
Yeah, I used to get it on my Gixxers used to get that all the time when they got too hot. They would just dump coolant. I've had that, yeah. But I don't know what's going on with the tractor.
Well, is it getting fixed now then, or is it still?
I've got to take it in Monday afternoon for them to have a look at it. So
hopefully summer or nothing, won't it?
Well, still under warranty, thankfully. Right, cheers for that, Charlie. Next one, Simon Orm. Morning, comrades. Hope you're all well. Can you ask them this, Bruce? Much appreciated. My question: if you were told that you had one ride left, where would you go, and what bike would you ride on? Always a goodie, that.
What do you have to go for a meal, like, or can it be a ride anywhere?
Anything, whatever you want to do.
Well, I was talking to you about
you've got one ride left.
The bike that I wanted to go on was the Indian Bobber.
Oh, you've got to think for that.
I mean, people talk about Harley Davidsons, but I kind of have a.
You took a thing for that Indian Bobber, haven't you?
Indian Bobber, and it'd have to be in America. It'd have to be down Route 66 for me.
I'm dying, so that it sounds really,
sounds so corny.
Unimaginative, like you've not thought about it. But yeah, I'd love to have just a massive Harley making loads of noise and just pod all day with music on and that, and in the heat with the t-shirts on. And I know everybody goes about safety gear. Let's not go there now. Have
you ever ridden in just like a t-shirt, no helmet, just a t-shirt?
No helmet.
Oh man, that's brilliant.
Yeah, it's everyone to their own. I will not judge no one. It's not to do with anybody. But please even do it. It's one of those. Who gives a shit? It's up to the person riding the bike, innit? You know what I mean?
It's their body at the end of the day.
When we start judging people, I know if you fall or if you lose, you all know that.
I think for us,
it's not rocket science.
When we did that, we were in Andorra. It was actually more dangerous to have our jackets on.
It was about 39 degrees.
Because we were getting so hot. Yeah. It was making us even want to face on the bike.
I've ever been that hot on a bike. It was about 39 degrees. I think I'd do 40 on the day. It went to 40 every now and again. It was just ridiculous. I was soaking through. I said,
mate, I'm a fat lad, and I was in a leather two-piece suit in 53 degrees.
Dear me.
It was horrific.
Yeah.
I don't think the world's ready for me in a leather suit, are they? It's a different channel, I think. A different channel.
So when somebody said to me, that's a lot of cows, and I was like, yeah, you're right, it is.
but the reason why that was the most conventional answer for me, I remember being in...
keep it really though. You said you're going to pause these press breaks and that. Don't pause it. Just ask space of multiple choice questions. I want 2 seconds.
No, right, I was going to tell you that story about when we were in Amsterdam. And we stayed in Amsterdam. I think it might be the 2019 tour. We were still in Hotel V. You've got to go to Hotel V. It's a fantastic hotel. And
What's
they have these Hotel V just outside of Amsterdam. Dead chilled. And they have like these amazing books just scattered all over the place. And every morning before breakfast, there was this beautiful book. And it was about this woman who'd done a journey through America on her motorbike. And I had all the people that she'd met through this journey. I should really find the title of this book. And I think that just kind of took me. I was like, oh my God, I need to do that. So it wouldn't just be traveling on my bike. It'd be taking photographs of the people I meet, writing the journal about it, and really wanting to make it not just like a vlog, but I record it in a different way, because that to me would be one of the things I'd want to do. So it wouldn't just be the journey, it'd be to write about it, record it, and not just a vlog. Or draw it. You know what I'm like? I'd want to draw it. I'd want to take sketches.
You can see all your drawings behind you.
Oh, I know, They're just everywhere in this house.
Now, your art, is that something you've always done, or is it something that just come to you?
Always. I've always done it since I was
last week.
Since I was a toddler.
Did you colour it in?
I know, he calls it colouring in. Since I was a toddler. But I've never, it was only when I married Sean and met Sean that I actually started to draw motorbikes.
It went downhill.
Yeah. I'd never drawn motorbikes until I met him. It was always landscape and, not anything else but motorbikes.
How cool is that one, though?
I mean, I love it.
That's my favourite by a long way.
Absolutely love it. Brilliant.
It's cool doing it because you see them advertised for mega prices and you're like, I was going to miss drawing, right?
Yeah. What do you do with your artwork then? Do you do it commercially, or is it just purely all just for...
That was the plan
for yourselves?
What was going to get used, because the main thing's actually, it's all basics. The main thing's landscape, isn't it?
My passion is landscape, but I mean, I mean, because I absolutely love motorbikes, I don't mind drawing them either. You actually get to know the motorbike better by drawing it, and it's like I know when we were doing the Africa Twin, I kept going out to it and going, "Oh, what's that little?"
I suppose you've got to look at the detail, haven't you? Yeah. Oh, hang on, you've disappeared on me. Hang on.
Hiya, me again. Right, folks, we are also sponsored by the Influencer Store. Now, I've got some blurb to read out for them, so let's go. The Influencer Store helps you build your brand, big or small, providing you with a solution and apparel. We help you to increase your fan base while supporting you with starting your own influencer clothing line with nothing more than just an idea or design, and there are no hidden costs. For more info, come check us out at theinfluencerstore.co.uk or drop us an email at online@influencerstore.co.uk for more information. Now, if you've bought any of my merch over at TeapotOne.com, then that is all handled by the Influencer Store. I've gone with them because basically the quality of their stuff is far better than anywhere else I've used. I used to use Teespring, I've used Spreadshirt, but that stuff after 3 or 4 washes, it either shrinks or it just disintegrates. The Influencer Store, their stuff is top notch, it's top quality. Richie Vida actually put me onto them because I really like the quality of his merch, and I'm hoping that any of you out there that have bought my merch, you're still happy. If you're not, let me know.
Right, I'm really sorry about that, everybody. Sorry, Sean and Faye as well. My internet, don't know what's went on. I don't think I put any money in the meter. But anyway, I think we're back up and running.
All right, we just had a load of wine gums while we've been waiting.
Yeah, just eating wine gums. What, sports mix or whatever they were.
Anything as long as it's got alcohol in it.
My kind of people, liking it. Right, we were in the middle of answering Simon Orm's question. So, one ride left. Where would you go and what would you ride on? So, we've got Route 66 on an Indian bobber for Faye.
That's correct.
Mine would be probably around the Arkansas region. More more foresty in that, but still on a massive alley. I know it's really unimaginative, and you should have come up with some mad weird thing, but no, it's I'm still a United States virgin. We should have been going. We should have been going a couple of years ago.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah, pre-COVID. It was all set, wasn't it? And then COVID just. I've never been to States. One of our subscribers said, "If you want to come over, I've got a Honda Gullwing, brand new one. He's got a haulage company. I think he sort of got the bikes as a write-off type thing."
Yeah,
you can use that. He said, "I've no more attachment. Use it. Do what you want." I'm like, "We just booked a flight somewhere," and then COVID struck and it went down. And I'm hoping that wasn't one that's just passed us by, and you're not going to visit it again. Yeah, so sorry for not being more imaginative with that, but I still want to do that.
What about you, Bruce? What's your answer?
That's a dream trip. Sheesh. I think.
Already done it.
No, there's still loads that I've not done. There was loads
on the world.
Well, there was loads on the world trip that I had to miss out. I gave up on Africa, and I still want to do Africa. It's a massive place. Africa's is it 50 odd countries or 40 odd countries on the continent? But there's so much of Africa I'd want to see. The Middle East, I never got to the Middle East, so I'd love to go and do that.
I've watched the first half of your trip, you're around the world one. I've watched the first part of that, when you sort of started again type thing.
Yeah.
I watched that first part a couple of times because it was real, wasn't it? Basically, that's how I think we show it if we was doing it, it was real, and you're like, it's not actually going to plan this. Which, when the things, because that's what somebody said on YouTube about everything. I said, you only seen 15 minutes of a full day's recording.
Absolutely.
You've not seen the 5 hours of pissing down rain getting to a ferry and shit. It all looked rosy. You're only seeing that little select bit that's watchable.
Do you find that hard? Do you find that hard in the edit? Cutting it down to some sort of manageable time, because my first vids were 40, 45 minutes or sometimes an hour, and you're like, best will in the world, even your mum's not going to sit through and watch that, is she? It's I'm bored now.
You're watching it on repeat.
Yeah.
Well, the worst part about that for me is when you're watching it and you think it's all there's 10 minutes of a good ride, and you're like, I don't want to get rid of any of it. So I did that when I was in Gran Canaria. When I was doing Gran Canaria motorcycle tours. And that's why I took the SD card out of the Drift and uploaded a video of just having a ride with Martin, a quick ride with Martin on the NC. Even that looked lame. And at the time, my toes were never off the floor and we were flying. You watch your backup video, you're like, that's quick, but it's not that quick. I just stop all the time.
Mate, I know. I totally get you. Yeah, the camera's weird, isn't it? The camera takes speed out. It takes it warps distance.
Takes everything out, doesn't it?
Like incline, decline. It all looks totally different, doesn't it?
Unless you've been there and seen it, you've no idea. You're looking at the camera and you're like, so yeah, that was dead good. That.
I take people across to the Canaries now. I'm fortunate, obviously, with a connection with a Canary Moto. And I take these people over who've seen the vids. So they think they know what to expect. And then, as you said, you get there in person and it's just like, oh my God. It is stunning.
Yeah. I was telling Fair that, because obviously being Fair, we're in contact most days. And I was trying to say that the pitch vids don't do each because you're not getting that depth. The parts are like in a grand angle. It's like, how's this place passed me by? How's it passed me by? I have no idea about it.
Are you going then? Are you going to go, Faye? Are you going?
Oh God, yeah. He's not going on his own.
Oh, we have that. Yeah, we have that trouble because you're the teacher. Yeah. We're restricted for tours and stuff like that to kids' holidays, so we just basically get dry bummed with prices. No choice. You have no choice. One week it's 200 quid. For this week it's 900 quid. And you know, you've sort of got to bend over and take it. What can you do? What can you do?
Yeah. Right. Getting back on track. My one, Simon. There's so many places I'd love to go, mate. I'd love to go and do the stands. I always wanted to ride to Everest Base Camp. That's something I'd love to do. I'd love to see Nepal. I really wanted to do Mongolia, but I had to bail on that on my trip, sadly. Or if I could just have one ride, it would be to do the Pan American top to bottom. So from Ushuaia at the very southern tip all the way to Dead Horse at the top. And what would I do it on? If it's my last ever ride, I'm going to go back to the trusty Jigsaw Thow. Why not? We'll end it where it started. That'll be me.
I know. You've just said that now, and you're like, oh, am I going to do it on a two-stroke now? I'm going to go back to the two-stroke.
It's a big one, though, isn't it? If that's your last ever ride. Yeah.
Well, I spent the first 5 years of riding on two strokes. Because that's what you did when I was growing up. There was nothing else.
Never ridden one. Never ridden a two-stroke. No. I missed all that. Yeah, but I didn't start riding until I was really late. I was 32 when I passed my DAS. So it was only 2008 when I started riding.
Right, there's got to be people watching this because you probably see on your YouTube. You can look at how old people are. Be like our audience are all old as fuck, proper old people.
Same with
yeah, old. And it's fair play. We're old as well. I get it. But when I was growing up, which doesn't happen now, you started off on a 50cc bike on the road at 16.
Yeah.
So on my 16th birthday, I got a Suzuki TS50X. It was 16. You could ride up road at 16, but on a 50. So a TS50X, which is like a motocross bike, full-size bike, those, with gears and everything. Got one of them. First thing you did was get a big bore kit for it, 65cc big bore kit for it. It'd now do about 43 mile an hour flat out, which at the time, when you come from a push bike,
and you were 16.
Yeah, you were 16, so it was great that. And then you were 17, then you get a 125. So the go-to 125 were either a DT 125 LC or... Honda did the MTX, Kawasaki did the KLX or whatever it was. Anyway, so we went to 125, but they were all two strokes. So it was like smoke and that two-stroke smell. Power bands, it basically did nothing there. They went, and that was it. That's it. So it was like, two gears. And it's like, oh, it's all gone. That. So people have never experienced it.
Yeah. That's right.
I never will.
I know, nobody was good. And then I had the last one was an RD350. No, I had an RD350 and then an RGV250. And they were like rocket ships. They were because they didn't weigh anything.
Yeah.
They were rocket ships. And you're thinking now, I fancy all of them, you know.
They're worth a bit of money now, aren't they?
Oh, you must do. I don't know whether you do. So, as I say, you're quite late to ride now, but some of the stuff I've owned in past. And you've seen the price of them now, it's frightening. You're like, has you held on to that?
We've seen some in shows, haven't we?
Oh, it's that we sold a GSX 1400. We had a short standard GSX 1400, didn't we? Yeah. Went to Edinburgh to pick it up.
God, it's amazing.
Yeah, I think he follows on channel, so I don't mind me saying this, but he had a fallout with his missus. He got caught sleeping around. He got kicked out. No, he said what it was. He got kicked out. No, it's all right. He got kicked out, and he got an apartment in the middle of Edinburgh.
Yeah.
And he said the bike can't go. He had nowhere for it. He said it's in another car park in his next door neighbour's space. And he sent pictures, and he said about everything powder coated. It's a short standard. I was looking at pictures. I said, if it's anything like that, great. So we agreed by it. So we bought him my mate's van in. We drove to Edinburgh, and he rolled it out, and it was like it just come out of the showroom. I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
It done about 4,000, it done nothing miles, and it looked like brand. It looked better than brand because it all been powder coated, but not powder coated, but the original colours. Mm-hmm. It Addons shocks on it. It was immense, wasn't it? Yeah. And we sold that for about £4,000. I'm going for 7 now. That was only a few years ago.
Oh well, live and learn, eh?
Oh. Story of my life, that I live and learn. But I don't learn. I live and don't learn.
Yeah, I have plenty of life lessons, but I'm not sure what I'm supposed to have learned along the way.
Yeah, not learning by him.
Right, next one. Cheers for that, Simon. Next one, Ollie Rye. How you doing, Ollie? Hello all. Hope you're all well. Couple of questions. First one for Faye. I know you love the SV, but what would your dream bike be in the future? Well, is that going to be the bobber?
Who's this off?
Ollie Rye.
Well, I thought it was somebody else. What would your dream bike be?
Well, no, yeah. I don't think I've rode enough and experienced enough bikes to be able to give that question justice, to be fair. I mean, I've sat on a few, but not actually, heard the engine go and give it some miles. So
you are thinking with that Indian bobber, though, are you?
I am, yeah.
It's coming back to you, doesn't it, every time.
I remember sitting on that and the smile. There's a couple of videos that we've done the smile when I was like, wow.
There you go. That's the one then. It's the one that makes you smile.
You'll always go back to that. But like I say, I've not done any miles on it, so I can't really answer that question. Maybe in 10 years' time, I might have a different bike, to say. But for now, I think the Indian for me.
I think the smile value that can make up for a lot of minuses a bike might have. There's some bikes that you just think, oh, this thing, I cannot wait to ride this. And then when you actually ride it, it doesn't handle particularly well. It's got lots of performance in it, but it's got the smile value. It makes you smile, it makes you grin, makes you laugh. You look at it when you walk away. Yeah. That's the bike, isn't it?
Yeah, that GSX 1400 was like that. The GSX was like that. It was like a pointless bike, really. It was basically an engine surrounded by a tank and whatever. But it looked the part. It had like bucket lock. You only had to give it a whisper. I thought, gone. But it didn't stop well. It didn't go on corner, but it was all right. But you turned it off. You got off. You're looking. That's all right.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one.
Then, absolutely. Right. Next question for Sean.
Can I add mine into that though? Because I know it didn't touch me that like, but nobody ever says what if you can have like man's. I don't know whether you might have seen them advertised, but the RC30, the VFR 750R, the Honda homologation race bike. I've never been on one, never rode one. If somebody's got one, please. I won't go fast like honestly. I can't go my life and not have a gold one of them. Yeah, I can't go my life and not have a gold one of them. Honestly. That was like me bedroom picture. You know what I mean? Yeah, the RC30. Yeah.
Good luck getting your leg over one of them.
Exactly, but you don't get there.
Well, Ollie's got a question for you, Sean. He says, "Are you buying the 1250 GS? Apparently, it's the best bike in the world." I keep telling Ollie it's the best bike in the world. So that's it. I think there's a development.
We're not buying a new bike anyway. We're not buying a new bike.
Why do you think Bob's getting stripped?
Yeah.
Yeah, so before this podcast started.
No, don't give it out. Don't tell anyone.
Don't give it away. Don't give it away.
There we go. Anyway, no, sorry. Right. We've had 2 GSs before. I'm not brand loyal at all. I'm not. I love all bikes. I love, you know what? Let's say this, drop these 125s. I have more fun on them than I do when I got work on them every day. I love it. I love it's just brilliant. People,
I know, I had to sit as after you.
Yeah,
Did you? Oh, I'm sorry.
You come to yours, you just shit all that, clean it up and everything. Buffer house and with leather and everything. And pet dryer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, it's, I ride anything. And,
No.
But anyway, before this podcast started,
not going to tell you.
Within 40 minutes of this starting, I was ripping the twin apart when I taking all the luggage and engine bars. So something might have got signed today.
Don't
something
say
might
any more, mate.
Yeah.
You'll give it away. You'll give it
something
away.
Something might have got signed today.
I'll tell you what. If
oh, you
no,
wait, yeah,
I'm not going to say any more.
I'm proper going to get slagged off. Proper. I'll never hear the end of it.
Ollie will be gutted. But anyway, he says, finally, glad you're starting to flow again with the podcast. Take care. Cheers, Ollie. Thank you very much. I've had a bit of a break from the podcast actually this year, so it's nice to get back to it. I've missed it.
Why? For a reason, or?
Yeah. I've just felt really shit this year. I'll be brutally honest with you. This year's been really hard. I stopped the podcast initially just because I had the Slovenia tour to edit.
Yeah.
You know, the tour vids take ages, don't they? And I knew there was that was a 5-day or 6-day tour, and I was thinking this is going to be 5 or 6 episodes, which never goes well because people just lose interest as they go through.
We had this the other day. We was talking about exactly the same thing. 1, 2, and a bit of 3 goes all right, and then the rest of well just throwing it in.
They just die, don't they? You get a couple of you don't get anywhere near the views. So I thought I would hold off the podcast. I thought for January, and then I just found YouTube just seems to have died this year. Like all the views have dropped, the subs have dropped, the ad revenues, everything's plummeted away. And then
I agree.
I had a sponsor, B-Moto, pulled on me just before Christmas. I've had a couple of kicks in the nuts financially, and like I said to you before, I just found myself at this point going, A, is it worth it? And B, can I survive on this, or what am I gonna, So it was just I was just feeling sorry for myself for a while, and I thought I'm not going to be a good conversationalist when you're.
That's the thing, isn't it? People are going to see into it. When you're not enjoying it, people are going to see how they, and they'll read through it, and you feel like you're going through the motions just to get one out. And,
absolutely. I'm a shit liar. I'm a crap bullshitter. So I just don't bother trying. But I have found the podcast. I did the first one back last week, and it was really nice to be back chatting with people again. It does help just chatting away to folks. So, absolutely, I'll keep going with it.
Yeah, this has been a lot easier than I expected. I thought this was going to be an utter shit show. I really did. Honestly, I thought, because I've never really done a lot of anything. I've done a bit of everything, but I've never really stuck to it. Not brand loyal with bikes, but people go on about it. Because on YouTube, you can't upset somebody with the brand of bike, can you? You know what I mean? I'm not like that. I'll ride it. I don't mind it. If I like it, I'll ride it. I'm not brand loyal in the slightest.
Yeah.
Where's this fucking next bike turns up?
I get so much grief for the GS, but most of it is tongue in cheek, absolutely tongue in cheek. And I totally get it. Of course it is. Because I used to slag him off before I started.
Didn't we all?
Yeah, but for me, it does what I need at the moment. There are. When did you
get your first GS then, Brent?
2017, I think it was 2017. I had a Triumph Explorer 1200 before.
I remember seeing that. Yeah, I remember watching
that blew up. I don't think I'd ever buy one again, but that blew up. Triumph's a good bike, but it's boring.
The old ones are very top heavy though, weren't they? The old Explorers. Beyond the joke, top heavy for me. You're like, this is ridiculous. This, but
it's very smooth, isn't it? It's a very smooth engine.
It's a turbine smooth engine, but
I had no character. Like,
didn't do anything
compared to like the KTM's, the punchy boxer engine in the GS or the Ducatis. It was the Triumph's right at the bottom of all that lot in terms of the big adventure bikes.
But they have a massive, really loyal fan base, don't they? Triumph.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a fantastic brand. Yeah, it's a really good brand, isn't it? It's a very strong brand.
They really do it well, and people who live by Triumphs won't have a bad word said about them. But we get the same with the Africa Twin. It's only got 90 horsepower. You're like, but it makes most of that early gold. on rev counter, you know what I mean? So it's not the fastest bike. Yeah, but it does enough. It does enough. How often do you actually stop on a bike? How often do you put it to a stop? You do that through gears and you enjoy it. And I'll never have a bad word said about them, you know what I mean? I know people slag them off, but slag every bike off, don't they? But we've enjoyed it. I will admit it's not the best to upload carrier.
What are we talking about now?
The African Swim.
Okay. Move on to the next question.
Yeah, I was going to say, stop him, because he'll slip. He'll say something. He'll say something.
Come out.
Yeah.
We've got 2 weeks and there'll be another reveal, so let's just leave it at that.
Okay, check out the channel for the reveal. Next, Harley. How's it, guys? Just a simple one for the three of you. Who is your hero? Oh, that's a goodie.
Kevin Schwantz.
Who? Schwantz? Kevin Schwantz?
Kevin Schwantz. I met him and his dad at Donington Park at Day of Champions 20-odd years ago. We had a burger with his dad and that. He was when I was 15, 16, he was my bedroom thing on the Pepsi Suzuki, and then he went to Lucky Strike when he broke his back in that year, and then Schwantz won the championship. Hence my email is stinsley34. That's why the 34 comes from. Kevin Schwantz. Had about 20-odd years,
Wow.
Was easy enough doing, wasn't
it?
Yeah, definitely. Straight there. What about you, Faye?
She's got. I won't even heard of him.
She's married him.
I know, yeah.
He's here. You know,
I don't know. I haven't a hero. I've got loads.
He doesn't have advice for you.
No, I know that. I've got loads of artists I've got lots of aspiration about. Egon Schiele's one of my favourite artists, but I wouldn't say he's my hero. Superman's my hero, of course.
Yeah.
Superman?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't think I've got like a...
Babes, come on, look at camera. Superman.
Can't see.
Can't see.
Oh, yeah. It is you.
It's your Bon Jovi tattoo, that. Well,
your Bon Jovi tattoo.
Yeah, Bon Jovi, massive Bon Jovi fan.
Right. Have you ever met him?
I've watched his concerts many a times. I watched the one at Milton Keynes Ball where they absolutely bombed, where everything went wrong. He forgot the words, so about 4 tongues. Yeah.
I used to work the Doors in Glasgow, and he was supposed to come and play at the venue I worked at. And I still to this day don't know why, but it was one of them, where they just didn't turn up.
You turn up.
And everyone's like, oh shit, what are we going to do with this? Not my problem.
How long did you do Doors for, Bruce?
God, it was all the time I was in uni, all the time I was in Glasgow. I think I was there 6 years, I think. I literally started the day before my 18th birthday.
So did you enjoy it? Would you
loved it.
If you had your time again now, would you still run the Doors?
Loved it. I was very lucky that first, the club that I worked at, they weren't hooligans. Do you know what I mean? They weren't dickheads. It was a real student orientated place. It was a bit tasty on the front door. There was a lot of knives and the odd shooter turning up. But inside the club, it was a really tight door, so a lot of the crap never got in. You'd get the odd bit, but that's
the thing. And I did 18 years on Doors in St Helens and Manchester, and I've always said, in hindsight, because I lost, like I said, 18 years of my life, basically, because I was still working full time as well. So I was driving my wagon during the day, doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights up Doors, and they're getting up early crack. Like I said, we'll finish Doors at 3 o'clock Sunday morning, and then I was in the wagon at 5 o'clock.
Jeez,
so it was basically go home, don't go to bed, because he got bed that killed it. Mm-hmm. And then my first sleep was like Monday night, and I always think the amount of stuff I lost through that, but the extra coin game was great. I bought bikes, so I don't know, swings and roundabouts, but I always worry when people do Doors. I always ask, if you had your time again, would you still run the Doors?
So I was lucky. So go on, 18 years,
Yeah, it's 18 years, and you think probably went on probably 8 years too long for me. For me, that's just my personal thing.
See, I found my time on the Door really helped going into the old Bill, in the sense of because I sort of started right at the tail end of the old school Glasgow Bouncers. They were just sort of moving on from the club when I started, and we had an ex-military chap that came on who was all into his martial arts and everything, and he was much more into it goes to the Roadhouse, the Patrick Swayze thing. He says, if you can be nice, but when it's time not to be nice, then you do what needs to be done.
Yeah, every Joel has favourite movie.
Absolutely, yeah, totally. So the whole art of like communicating with people and trying to talk people down rather than just panning their head in, it really helped, I think. Well, like conflict resolution and all that bollocks. It really helped moving into the old bill, for sure, I think, for sure. Because every
door seems the same, the way that every door seems the same. Like there was 8 of us on the club that we worked. And like I said, there was 3 absolute nutcases.
Yeah, you always have to have them.
Yeah, you have to have 3 in case it got tasted. 3 that could fight anybody. You know what I mean? And the rest of us were you got stuck in when you needed to and all that. But you try and get away from it if you could, because the managers didn't want trouble at pub. Get the other 3 away, so they'll come on.
Yeah, please kick off. Please kick off.
Yeah, please kick off. Okay, here we go. We're all getting lifted tonight. Yeah. Well, no, I always think that I'm one of those that said, if we had my time again, I probably wouldn't have done it, I'll feel like I've lost 18 years of me. All your mates doing stuff at weekends.
Our club was open 7 nights a week. So, literally, I was a head doorman for the last part of it. So, I was pretty much there 6 nights, if not 7 nights a week. And it does take over your life, doesn't it? But then I found I was just that type of person, because when I moved to the old bill, I would do all the overtime going. So that would become my life, I think I'm just that sort of person.
When you're working on doors, it actually takes over your life, doesn't it? You're spending all week building up to going, like, I finish work at 5, 6 o'clock, go home, get changed, hang your shirts and price, as you do, and all that. Yeah. And we had a Chicago Rock Cafe in St. Helens, and that was the day you had to wear a waistcoat, you had to wear the Chicago Rock Cafe jackets and flip-on tie and all the rest of it. And all day long, you wait it, finish work, but go and do that. Yeah. And you're there till 3 o'clock in the morning, you go home, a couple of hours kip, and then I'm out on bike on a Sunday, then back on the... Your whole life was like that, non-stop.
Yeah.
Just slow down.
You can't stop, because you'll just fall asleep if you stop.
You'll just keep low spots.
Yeah. Right. We're going back to a question with Harley. I don't think I really have a hero. It's just I've got people I look up to, but not like a hero. Yeah. Right. Next one, Jason Smiley. Just for that, Harley. Thank you, pal. Jason, hello, everyone, and thanks for doing what you do. Pleasure, man. Pleasure. 500 miles of perfect road on a perfect day on the bike of your choice. Your pillion can be anyone you can think of. No rush, but you can ride how you like. Who are you taking and why? Okay. So a 500-mile ride on your perfect day, your perfect bike. Who's your pillion of choice?
This is going to end badly.
I'm going to be sentimental. I'm going to take my brother.
Okay. Why is that?
Just fun.
Okay, fair enough.
I know. Well, that's the angle I'm taking. I'm taking my brother because he's never been on a bike. Yeah. And I want to experience that with him because I'm loving him to death.
Swap answer.
You can say whatever you want. You go the other angle. I'm going emotional. You go funny.
Pamela Anderson.
Really?
The Baywatch days. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Baywatch days.
Baywatch days. When she was like, when we all thought it would be fresh and innocent,
So you wanted to have a red bikini on as well, are you?
Yeah, with that thing that saved, that thing was that arm, and the thing that saved Ricky drowned. Well, it sits on the back with a bikini on, it's somewhere warm.
Are you all right, Sean? Do you need a minute?
No, calm down. So you've got
can't ask me stuff like that, mate, honestly. And that was the mild version.
We need to do a beer.
We reached around and everything involved in this shot.
I was going to go Billy Connolly just because I know
you. Why is it only being sound like a pervert?
You're such a bad person, Sean. You're such a bad person. I was going to go Billy Connolly because I know he likes bikes.
And he looks like
and he can't ride anymore, can he? Because he's got Parkinson's. To have him on as a pillion, and I think he'd be a great laugh. But then after I thought that, I thought I'd actually think I'd take my dad, because my dad used to ride a bike in his younger days. Yeah, and I don't think he had a bike when he met my mum, but he did have a bike before that. So I thought, I'll take him pillion, chuck him on the back, and he's 81 now, so it'll be like, take him for a spin.
Fuck, I'll take my dad then as well. Okay,
You're such a shallow human.
I know. I'm trying to have a giggle. You're all second your family members. I thought it was like a fantasy thing.
Well, we know your fantasy, don't we?
Yeah,
and when I get back, I'll take Kelly Brook for a spin. It's got to be done.
No, Pam's got off and Kelly's jumps on. Pam's had enough.
Right, next one. Ashley Wright. Nice one, Bruce. I've been following Sean and Faye for ages. My question. I'm really jealous that you've got a trip to Italy booked in the summer. I was wondering what parts of Italy you were planning on visiting, and will you be on one bike or two?
Oh, here we fucking go again.
Definitely only
right, it won't be an Africa Twin, it won't be an SD 650, and it won't be the CB 1300. Something else that was signed off today. It was signed off today, but we're all going to say it. Everyone knows what it is.
No. Don't give it away.
I know, but the others.
So, we're going on one bike, and we're going to stay around the lakes at the top.
Well, Lake Garda, we booked a hotel Lake Garda. Basically, all I would say, we don't, everyone to their own. This is not judgmental at all. Some people want to get up early, ride all day long, come back at hotel at night, quick and go to sleep. That's not me. We like having a bit of fun while we're away. Yeah. There's a rule, we like being at the hotel for 3 o'clock latest, get the bike parts up, just shower gym, get out, have a few beers. So we start early, and then every time like, you must be in the thingy day after. But what you don't see on the videos is we go out early, get leathered early doors, we're usually back in the hotel for 8 o'clock. Bed, and then get up early and do it again. That's how we do it, you know what I mean?
But the idea is that we're based at Lake Garda now. We've got 3 days there, and we're going to stay around the lakes because at the end of the day, the beauty about being on 2 wheels on a bike is you can get to the gems that nobody else can get to. So we're going to experience those beautiful areas that are not, the main ones like Venice and Rome. You know what? We don't really need to go there.
Yeah.
We want to go to all the other places that nobody else is going to go to. So.
That you need an adventure bike to go to.
Honest to God.
He's just boiling up to say it, isn't he? He's dying to say it. He's got the T-shirt. He's got everything ready to go, isn't he?
I nearly did.
Don't do it.
No, but what it is, I said, for October, we're going to stop there on Lake Garda for 3 days. And then we'll go make our way back, probably over Stelvio, as you do.
Yeah.
Even though I've done Stelvio before, for me it's too busy. I know it's not what people say. You've not, but Faye wants to do it.
Yeah.
Going up Stelvio will be not too bad.
Yeah, it's all right. I done Stelvio donkeys years ago.
When you were 2?
Yeah, I was touring, but I started touring when I was thinking before from sat navs and there was nothing to my tank. I toured on the. Yeah, back in the day, that's what it was. Everything. There was no Kevlar jeans and everything like that. Oh no, we roughed it. Real jeans, Levi's.
Oh my God.
Real jeans.
We got up, back no.
Stelvio is something you've got to do, isn't it? I think
you've got to do it. That's what we said to you. So Faye could say that she's done it. So we'll do that.
But don't do it on a weekend.
No,
do not do it weekends.
So we'll stop in the Lake Garda until the Monday. And then hopefully going to try and do Stelvio early doors Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go to Switzerland, aren't we? Because the COVID tour. Because I don't know what you say, but we got away in that. We had that little tiny window when we had the COVID tour, didn't we? Where there was didn't they relax the rules from about June till August or something?
We jumped on it,
2020, no, 2020, wasn't it?
2020,
yeah. They had that little couple of months, and we just sneaked in and sneaked back out. It was like some military operation. The day we got back, there was rules, weren't there? If you didn't get back by that day, you had to have isolation and that.
Yeah.
But we stopped at, what was it, Switzerland? Lake Geneva.
Yeah.
And we did that as just a stopover. not really thinking
Not
much about it.
prepared,
We sort of looked halfway between where we were going to Black Forest. I said, right, we'll Lake Geneva. We've heard good things about it. We'll drop there. And it was like really, really good. But we weren't up for it. We didn't really know what to expect. So we want to do it again now that we know what the script is. You know what I mean? You know, now you can sort of get ready for it and what have you.
Yeah, I was lucky. I got a chap that follows the channel, Mark. He lives in Switzerland, and he invited me down. So he took me in September, was it? I think it was September time. Yeah, he took me for about 5 days. Took me all around all the passes down in Switzerland, and we did Stelvio obviously as well, and we did some of the Dolomites, northern Italy. It was awesome just to have like a local show showing you where to go and when to go as well. Most importantly,
that's priceless in it. Getting a local, you know, because everybody pretends they know where they're going. Get a local, and you'll see things that you've never even thought.
100%.
There's plenty of bits also in picture there. Where is it?
Oh yeah,
El Dove.
Oh, Dovizzi also.
Yeah,
what's he doing now? He's not. He's left.
Yeah, he's with Yamaha now. The satellite team. I knew that. Is it with you team? The new.
Okay.
What Rossi was with last year. The chair sponsorship. It was is it with you or something? The sponsorship. Yeah, Johnny and.
I didn't get to see I haven't seen the Qatar.
I've not seen much since it went to BT Sports. To be honest, so I'm not paying for it because we watch rugby league on Sky, so I'm not paying for every sports channel in the world just for watching a bit of everything. You know, I wait for bloody highlights, come and watch it on there. So yeah,
got you. Right, Ashley's got a last little thing. What's he saying here? I also want to add that I'm really pleased Faye persevered with doing her big bike test. I followed her journey all the way through, and I knew you'd get there in the end. Cheers, Ash. Top man.
Yes, that was it.
Here we go. Stephen Fletcher. Here he is.
Oh, yeah,
great choice, Bruce. Top draw, the pair of them. My question to the Tins: what's your feelings on L plate poisoning? Is that poisoning or should it be positioning? I think it's positioning.
Positioning, it'll be positioning.
Right.
He'd had a beer, I think, before he roasted.
On this. Don't get me fucking started on this.
Come on, what's the story behind all that?
Right.
Have you ever had an L plate?
Right. When I was young, this is what everyone did. Everyone had L plates. What you did, no fucker had L plates up front. You had the little shitty tiny one up back. And no one ever got collared. And my nephew's an inspector for the Manchester Police. Our next door one neighbours, he said, you're never ever going to get pulled for that. If you get pulled for it, they'll just give you go and get it sorted. It's blew off or whatever. No one's ever going to pull it. So Faye got this Lex Motor Michigan, and the L plates on the front look shit on the fore leg. And I said, fuck it, leave it. Just don't put it on. Don't worry about it. If we get pulled, let me talk. We'll sort it out. The shit we got for that.
The comments were ridiculous.
I'm sure you need that. I'm sure you need that. I'm sure you need that L plate to be like, I know you need an L plate. So I've been doing this a bit now. I know you need one. We just don't want it to look crap. It looks crap. Yeah. It looks crap.
It's amazing though how you feel when you've actually passed and you can cut that thing up. It's crazy. And then people put like a P on and
but that front L plate's on a motorbike. It's like
it's pointless. Why bother?
I can understand having one on back. I get it. So if somebody's behind you going, I sort of get it. I get the back one. The front one is completely. I don't get it. But the minute we went out with it was the first 10 comments, wasn't it? And you're like,
I had it one time. Literally, top of my road. It is. I think I counted it. It's something like 48 seconds or something from my house, and I'd stopped to do like the last piece to camera for a vid I was doing, and I didn't bother putting my gloves on. So I rode. It's a one-way street. I rode the 48 or 50 seconds, whatever it is. I live in the middle of nowhere, down this country one-way road with no gloves on, and the grief I got for that was like, you should be setting an example. I'm like, oh, what? Come on. Anyway, Faye, you're saying that feeling when you cut up the L plate. What made you go for it to start with?
Like, at the very beginning of the journey.
Yeah. What made you go, right? Okay, I've had enough being pillion. I want a bit of this as a rider now. Was there anything that happened?
To be fair, you actually said this before you was even pillion, one that you wanted to ride your own bike, didn't you? You actually said this from day one.
I've loved motorbikes all my life, to be honest. And obviously, when I married Sean, it came alive, the journey more so than when I was 18.
You had struggle with the height, didn't you? That everything was like,
I don't know, being a mum, having a job, all that kind of got in the way of what you really want to do in life.
Yeah, I get
that. COVID, when COVID hit, you got some time to yourself to think, and like I was working from home, lockdown. It was like, well, what should we do with our time? You know what I mean? And it was really a last minute thing. Shall I go and do my CBT? And Sean went, yeah, okay, let's do it. And it was just like that. We are very spontaneous, me and Sean, and it just kind of, everything just came in together. Everything came in together at the same time. Just did it. Just it.
I think a lot of people have found that with COVID, isn't there? There's been a lot of people that have just had that, not an epiphany.
Freedom to do what they wanted to do.
It's like a fuck it mentality, isn't it? People have just gone, do you know what? You don't know what's around the corner, so let's go for it. Seize the day almost. Yeah, I know loads of people in bike dealerships and stuff, and they were like, these are some of the best in terms of sales. So like, it's like some of the best years that they've ever known in the industry. Yeah. Everyone is spending money and buying the bike that they wanted and just going for it.
Well, what about that video that we did? We did a video in Wales about 3 days before the lockdown was announced. We did a video, but it was actually put out 3 days after lockdown. Comments on it, and we even put a start on the video saying this was filmed on such a date. This was filmed on such a date, and then like, why shouldn't you help? No, you're harming everybody.
Yeah.
It's
nuts, isn't it? Yeah. We had a wee chat. Myself, TMF, Chucks,
and Rich. Disclaimer on a YouTube video. There's no BBC license, no nothing.
Yeah, we all had a chat right at the start, and we were like, certainly myself and TMF, because this is our full-time job. It's like, well, you could get away with it, but we just sort of went, you know what? Imagine the grief that you're going to get in the comments for this. We'll just hold off for a while. So you're
doing it full time. You say TMF, you're doing it full time, and I can sort of understand that. TMF, it's like Coronation Street, isn't it? It's not brilliant.
Not
Tell you,
definitely EastEnders.
He's got the mass appeal, isn't he? He's got the mass appeal. I think because of that, because it's easy.
Because you watch it without thinking about it, can't you? You can watch it and just let it roll and just watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think he got on that in the heyday, because it's not like that anymore. It's not. It wasn't easy at all, because Andy put in a lot of graft to get where he's at. I really appreciate that. No,
I don't think there's anybody there because no one sees what goes on behind the thing of all this. It's an absolute ball at times, isn't it?
But the game has changed. It definitely has changed from
because like 4 yourself, we always said, didn't we? We'd try and answer every comment. Do your best. I do. And I'll stop up hours doing it. Try even if it's just like a thanks, whatever. We always try and answer every comment, make it personal. Sometimes you can't, but you always try and do it. But do you realise how long that takes? You've had a full day at work, and then you're like, you know what I mean? And you're not getting nothing back. People think, you must be getting a fortune off these ads. You get a couple of pennies. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing.
I know.
You know more than us.
When you said you was going full time and username
I take my hat off to you all after it was full time.
I said, I was praying it worked for you. You know what I mean?
I couldn't do this. I couldn't do this full time if I didn't have certainly Patreon. Patreon's over half my income. I couldn't do it without them. But you can't rely on one thing. You need your ad revenue. You need merchandise sales, you need some sponsors, you need for me, I've got Patreon. I'll do tours as well. Hopefully I'll get 1 or 2 tours, my own tours this year. All helps. You can't rely on one thing to bring money in because there just isn't that money in the motorcycle industry. It just isn't there at the moment. Companies will still go and fork out $5,000 to put an advert in like MCN or $3,000 for an ad in MCN. But you ask them for a couple of £100 for a video about their product, which gets way more audience, and it's
also going to be shared, word of mouth,
but they won't do it. They won't do it. They're like, you'll do this for free. And there's so many people out there that will do it for free that it's a real difficult market. Yeah. So it's a tough one. Yeah, you just have, I think they call it diversify your income. That's your income streams. That's what you have to do for sure.
Yeah,
or sell drugs, one or the other.
That's sell drugs, yeah. That's my friend's job, that, isn't it? No, anyway, let's
don't say anymore.
Rob. He watches the night, Rob. Yeah. See you about 10 o'clock, pal. No, I'm joking. I don't take drugs, so I'm just being
Next question. Steve says, and to Bruce, when's the next proper big trip going to be and where? Well, I was supposed to be going to Ukraine in May, but obviously, sadly, that's not happening now. So
is that the one where you was going to go to
Chernobyl? Yeah, I was supposed to be
Joe
going with a
and
group
Martin
to
mentioned
Chernobyl.
it when I was over there. They said you was about going over there, and I thought, you better take a rifle if you go now, pal.
Yeah, it's not happening now. I think it's in discussions at the moment, but Romania's been mentioned, so we might be doing Romania. We'll see. But even if that doesn't happen, I'll do a road trip somewhere in Europe. I need to be in the Netherlands at the start of June, and then I'm at the TT for race week. So that's
saying that you put a post up saying you've got to get back to TC for the service.
Yeah. So that'll be my next sort of big trip away. I was supposed to be going. I had planned to go and do a 10-day tour of the States in May, but then the Ukraine trip came up, and that took precedence. And then I got stung by a
10-day tour of the States.
Yeah. I was.
How many fucking patrons have you got?
No, man, that's care of the credit card.
Right.
That'd be saying, well, we was going to max Alfred do that. That was like a once in a lifetime, and it was going to kill ourselves to do it.
Yeah, that was going to be a bit of a gamble, really, on my part. I was just going to credit card it, go, and then hope that I might be able to recoup something in the ad revenue, because it might be something normal, something out of the ordinary that people would watch. But it's not happening at the moment. I'm planning to go to Ireland at some point this year, but I don't know.
Yeah, I want to do that.
So what are you getting to the CT? Are you going on the ferry?
Yeah, I think it's the Liverpool ferry. I've got the 2 a.m. ferry on. I think it's Liverpool.
I should stop here for it.
2 a.m. Well, I'll be riding. I'll be coming back from Romania at the time, so I think
we're 20 minutes to the ferry at Liverpool.
Are you? I might be able to stop and say hello for a brew, and then we're off.
Get kettle on, right?
Right, I might take you up on that. I'll knock your door.
Oh, you can't honestly. No, you want a break before they get a brew in that, like. And,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
They're actually just down the road from the ferry at Liverpool.
Oh, awesome. Thanks very much. I'll maybe take you up on that then. We'll chat about it.
In the middle of the night, we'll get up, we'll make you brew and all that. Whatever you need to do. I'll stay in bed. I don't sleep, and it's ridiculous.
Right, we better crack on with these questions, because we are 2 hours in and we're a third of the way through Patreon. Yeah, and we've still got.
We'll just shut Sean up for a minute.
Good luck. Next one, Stuart Bailey.
Was warned.
Hi, Tins. How many of your school day dreams and ambitions have you achieved? What new dreams and ambitions have you got now you're beyond school?
Well, I've got Pamela Anderson anyway, so that's good.
Pamela Anderson keeps coming up, doesn't she?
I know. Did you know about this before, Faye?
It was on my wall. I'm sure you can imagine.
This is brand spanking new to me.
Yeah, yourself. We've mentioned Cocky Pamela Murray. Right, seriously. School ambitions.
School day dreams and ambitions.
Yeah. We was actually talking about this. And it's actually not, it was an ambition at the time, which I actually gone through with, and I sort of wish maybe I'd have gone a different path. Driving wagons. I always wanted to drive wagons. When I was going to school, I wanted to drive a big truck and all that. So I've been driving trucks now for what? 34 years. I've been driving trucks for 34 years now, and I sort of wish maybe I'm not, because nowadays it's not a job anymore. It's actually a chore now. It's not a job anymore. But yeah, I think I've gone down the wrong path with that. Not to know at the time, but you know what I mean. It's everything.
But did you dream of doing that when you were a kid?
Yeah, I wanted to drive trucks.
Did you?
Just watch massive wagons going past school and all like that. I want to drive one of them. And so
I saw Convoy. I saw the film Convoy, and I was like, I want to do that.
Well, that was pretty much same. Yeah. So I wanted to drive trucks. So I drive trucks, and now it's like I wish I'd never done it. But Other than that, like I said, Bruce, I thought it's ridiculous. Did a bit of professional BMXing.
Oh, you did?
I know, I've done all sorts.
He was
You
famous.
were a professional BMXer.
He was. He was top famous.
Yeah. What's always this answer?
You know what? You bought your first car when you were 16. Who could buy a car themselves?
17.
You're 17.
Well, that's a Mark 1 XR2 when I was 17, yeah.
Really?
From
Off of BMXing?
Off BMXing, yeah. It was big for a very, very short period of time.
I had a mag
I
burner.
was famous riding around the track with Annika Rice.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, happy days.
Yeah.
Well, that was many
I bet you were following her as well.
Well, yeah. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do, haven't you? I was many stones lighter, though, to be honest. Many, many stones lighter. Yeah.
Well, for me, I was an amateur ballroom and Latin American dancer when I was a little girl.
Really?
I actually performed in Blackpool, and I wanted to be a professional dancer. I wanted to be Pam's People when I was a little girl.
Wow.
I know.
Was this like a fine
Look at Sean's
the conversation?
I used to go to competitions all the time when I was little.
Like going for a piss, multiple choice.
But that soon changes, doesn't it, when you grow up, and you become a bit more mature. But I've always wanted to be a teacher, and I've always wanted to be an art teacher, so I kind of succeeded in that fact.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, really nice sharing my passion for art with other people. And trying to get them, encourage people to be creative, because I always find like being creative is the best way of curbing any mental health problems. And so if you've got art in your life, you can't help but smile, because there's always some way to go when you're feeling a little bit low.
Yeah.
And so for me, achieving that in my life is a must, and I've still got it anyway, so that's great. The dancing now, I don't do the dancing anymore, which is a bit of a shame.
Do you not fancy it now with all Strictly and all that on the TV?
No, I wish I did. I mean, like I say, I kind of stopped doing that when I was about 25, and but I've been doing it since I was little.
Wow.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. All the sequins and all the costumes, it was absolutely fantastic.
I could
see
Sean.
Didn't know that.
I could see Sean in one of those like lycra suits, to do all the Latin dancing.
You know what I mean? Carry it off.
So, with your teaching,
a bit of spandex,
what age group do you teach, Faye? Are you secondary or primary or
secondary school? Okay. Yeah. So it's from the age of 15 to 18.
Although you do a lot of private stuff, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I kind of run a couple of little private self-surprise things. Just to God. Because I mean, fashion and textiles is my degree, so it's okay. I'm a seamstress.
Right. Okay. That's what you teach.
No, I teach. I teach every subject, but art is the subject that I'm a curriculum leader for. But I am a seamstress, though, really, for my degree.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm fat, so my shorts are always too long. Because I wear shorts all year round. So first thing you do, get my shorts from work and text them up.
Yeah.
What just text them up then? Put the pockets to the side of the fucking short. Your legs. I can't even put a pen in my short pocket. It's hanging out. People think we're probably putting this on because we're like this all the time, all day, every day. It's an absolute joke.
That's the beauty of these podcasts, is because it is like long form conversation. You can't bullshit in it, is it? You are who you are, and I think people appreciate that. They appreciate seeing like genuine conversation and
like say, plug your roots in now. We'll go to April. You know what I mean?
But you actually get to know people, don't you? On these podcasts?
Definitely.
You get to
know you, ballroom queen.
Yeah, and Faye wasn't aware of your Pamela Anderson infatuation, was she?
No, I actually wasn't, and I'm not blonde.
Yeah, that's going to be a difficult one, Sean.
Isn't it just?
Awkward.
Hashtag, yeah.
He's only on like being number 20.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13.
13.
Yeah.
I'm on my third. God.
To be honest, I know this sounds like I'm not.
And these are tiny. Look at the size of them.
I know. Kid size, yeah, but I'm not proud of it. Honestly, I'm not proud of it. It's just the fact that I've grown up in that drinking, in the drinking culture.
Rugby, innit?
Yeah, and it's like 12 beers don't upside anymore. don't touch side. It's like
I was like that, and then I got into my sort of 30s, and it just stopped. I just couldn't drink anymore. It just killed me.
I love the odd day though. We're like 6 or 7, and I'm like fucking hell, really?
Yeah.
But then other days, I'll do 2 cases of beer, like 30 or 40 beers, and it's much okay.
I'm doing more than you, mate. What's that about?
Oh, hey,
well, honestly, I'm a soft southerner these days. Terrible.
Yeah, I was taking credit for that. Like, what's crazy having Bacardi and coffee with these beers. Honestly.
God.
That's why we go on so we don't get leather.
I've let the whole of Scotland down here.
I know, yeah. I don't think we're all big drinkers.
I was going to say racist. Is that racist or is that... What's the word? Bugger it. I can't remember what the word is.
What's the word for that? When you're talking about
stereotype.
A nation, stereotype.
That's the ones. It's true, though. Stuart's other part of his question was, what new dreams and ambitions have you got now that you're older?
What's the dreams and ambitions? We want to do more stuff on the bikes. Now you've passed your test. Now you've got a proper bike. But it's not. I hate that. It's not a proper bike because I love the 125s. I'll go in. We got that thing, didn't we? Have you rode that silly? Was it the T380? Was it the 380?
The 380,
the 380.
Yeah.
Which everyone slagged off, but I thought was, except for the gear change being really dead close to the engine. I thought I loved it. And,
the 380? Did you?
Yeah. To be honest, I've said to a lot of people, a lot of time, this is not getting into nobody now. I know it sounds like it's not, but it sounds like, I think a lot of times people just don't want to adapt to a bike.
Mm-hmm.
Every bike's got its own little things.
Yeah.
What can I want to grow up with? We grew up with 2 strokes when there was like the first 3 seconds of throttle. It doesn't do anything. And then the next 2 seconds, if you everything it had in 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you learned how to wheelie when I was a kid, because I was big into wheelies. So you
had no choice.
Yeah, you had no choice. You just wheelie. So you learned how to feather the back brake and that.
You do tend now when you're on a bike. You do tend to go to the positive straight away. You don't pick on a bike. You don't pick all the shitty negatives. So you always go there positive because you've been doing it all your life. Yeah, because
what Bruce said before. When I said to Bruce before about somebody said something, one of the questions. I said, "What was his name?" Sounded like somebody commented last night. He's probably going to see this. Rat's ass anyway, but it was not about slagging. I hate it. I said, it's a bad word, mate.
Yeah,
I said there's nothing bad about that bike. I said, it's not really the best bike out there. It's by far not the worst bike.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't get how somebody hates a bike. You like, ride it and adapt to it. Every bike's got its own little things. Because when I ride, as a few people pointed out, and I say it myself, I ride it with the mountain bike for me, and I ride with my right hand away from the middle of the grip. You have to see a picture. If you're looking at this now, look back at any video that I've got where it's got my camera, and look where my hand is. My left hand's up to the stop, my right hand's hanging off the grip. Right. I ride like that all the time, whether it be mountain bikes, it's just the way it is. But you get used to it, and I don't get where people immediately say, bike shit, that's it, shit, don't want to interest. Today, I loved it. You could drag it everywhere. It was quick enough to do the job. It was heavy. It was not fast, but it was dead cheap. And it did enough for me. Yeah. It come with 3-piece aluminium luggage. What more do you want? And it was pennies. It was pennies, buttons. You got a bike that can do 90 miles an hour.
90? 90?
92 out of that.
You must have been going down like a cliff like that.
Well, I was down the motorway. It was I said to Fair, because did you ride it and it shows you the maximum speed, but it shows you on the thing, done it underneath how fast you've been on the dashboard. On the TFT dashboard, didn't it?
Yeah. It's a real basic one.
And it tells you the fastest you've been underneath.
Did it?
And I said,
I saw it in the 80s, and that was it when I was on it. Wasn't going any more than that.
So I was going to the fair at Muncaster Castle, and there was a downhill stretch at M6. I thought, this fucking having it. So, head in. Oh, fuck, come on, you bastard.
Tuck in.
I was shoving it, and everything. I was shoving it. And he got to 92. What fucking, what more do you want? Right, cheapest chips does 90 miles an hour. It's got 3-piece aluminium luggage. It's got what do you want?
I think my problem with it was that I'd ridden the Terrain 125, and when they told me the 380 was coming, I had such a good time on the 125.
Yeah,
I was just grinning all the time. And I thought to myself,
I love that bike.
Yeah, it was just fun, isn't it? It's just a fun bike. It's not great. Powerful, but it was just fun. And I thought, oh man, this with a bigger engine, like 3 times the size, this is going to be a right giggle. Yeah, but the 380 to me just felt like an underpowered bike, whereas the 125, I think I wasn't expecting anything because it was, I'm 20 odd stone and it's a 125, so I wasn't expecting it to do anything.
To me, I thought exactly how you're saying, but I thought it was the other way about me. I thought the 380 was fine, but the 125 was brilliant.
Did you go on the little 125?
Of course I did. I work on everything. And yours. Oh yeah, because you ended up buying one, didn't you?
Yeah, I bought it in the end.
It was that good you bought the company.
It's a great little bike, isn't it? It is a great fun little bike.
Oh, but you're saying that now. All the comments on that, Chinese in the 4 bits of the year. I was just 2 years old. It was like brand new. It's just about looking after it.
Yeah, you do. That's the thing. With the Chinese bikes, you have to look after them because they do fall apart. They will rust if you don't look after them.
Everything rusts, but if you put SCF, you put a thingy on it, that's fine. Yours was like 2 years old, that thingy. You had 12,000 miles on your terrain. It was like brand new.
It had 12,000 miles?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was silent. It just come out of the showroom. It was mint. Was it an old GS 125 engine? Your Suzuki. It's based on those.
It's a Suzuki. Yeah, it's the Suzuki 125,
which is like renowned to being the most robust engine ever built type thing. There's been a lot of them about, but when you had like 12,000 miles, it was like mint.
Yeah. It's an outdated attitude when people hear it's a Chinese bike, they're all like, oh, it's going to be a bag of shit. But the amount of big manufacturer bikes that have components that are all manufactured in China, BMWs, a lot of the BMWs are built in blooming China. The parts come from China. It's just a fact of life these days.
I just try to keep an open mind. I'll try and ride something as it is. See the bike, ride it as it is and judge it as it is. But like I say, you can't. The minute you put Chinese bike up, here we go. It's a rust bucket. It's not what we're all worthy here. That Michigan, you had that Michigan for a year and a half, didn't you? And we sold that as virtually a brand new bike.
Yeah. That was a difficult bike.
So fair bought this Michigan. She done the CVT. She bought this Lex Motor Michigan, brand new.
I've never ridden the Lex Motors.
Fucking bars like that. So we took the bars off. We put some flat bars on it. And it transformed it. Yeah. And it was like, I rode it thinking, how fun's this? I've got to work on this forever. I'm struggling to see the bad parts about it.
Yeah.
It's me, I'm getting older, cynical.
I've had criticisms from people with bike reviews where people have said exactly what you've already covered. They said, you very rarely give a bad review. And I was like, well, there isn't really a bad bike out there these days. There's not a bad bike. There's better bikes. There's faster bikes. There's more comfortable bikes, more practical bikes. But there's not really a bad bike out there, for sure.
No, it's. And I've took it because I've been accused of the same. And I've said to people, listen, pal, you don't even know me. I've got. In my own mind, I've based myself on my own integrity. If someone shit, I'd say it was fucking shit. I would never I couldn't live with myself if I did it because I feel like I'm taking myself down the wrong path. If I start saying, oh, it's great, this, and I knew damn well it wasn't. I couldn't.
And people see through it. People will see through it.
I couldn't do it.
And if you say something's good and then someone goes and spends their own money on that, and it's blatantly not
exactly.
Well, you're foobarred then, aren't you? Because you're never ever going to get the trust of that person back again, are you?
Yeah,
that's the way I look at it.
I'll always say that, except for the gear thing being the pegs didn't matter, wasn't it? We think hanging off the pegs. I said that could be altered. There was stuff on it. Everything I complained about, the TFT kept flickering in and out.
Yeah,
that's not the end of it. That's not that like it's. But I thought the bike was like, he had enough low down torque. It weren't fast, but did enough for money.
That's not the bike that we've got to go to
that's what Italy. So today we're starting with a T380. We're going 2 up to Italy.
That's not happened.
Flat out at 70.
I'm looking forward to this launch vid. Oh, I can't wait for that one.
Wait, I'm going to get slagged off Twitter on it, honestly.
Oh, yeah, don't worry about it. It happens. Right, next one. Cheers for that, Stuart. Thanks for the question. Yeah, it's part and parcel.
That's
Lee
Stuart.
Vigor. It's Buddy Biker.
I've seen his name about as well, yeah.
He says, hello all. Firstly to Faye, I'm so glad you never gave up, so hats off to you. Question to Faye, what would be the one thing the motorcycle industry could do that would benefit female riders?
Oh, fucking hell.
Is it obvious? What is it?
Mate, bikes, every bike's too tall.
Yeah, that's true. Well, not all women are short as me.
What's not just that, though? Even fellas. Any dealership. If you're not 6 foot with a decent leg length, you're struggling flat foot any bike, aren't you?
That is true. A lot of guys complain the bikes are too high, don't they?
All bikes are too high. The African swim we got, didn't we? Because we got this African swim, right? We've had it 3 years, haven't we? And the rear shock can't cope with what it can do. It could 3 luggage, 2 up, it's too short, wasn't it? So we changed the shock. And technically, it should have been still the same, but it was like 1.5 inches taller. So we put it back to what it was. And for your inside leg, you should have been able to tiptoe it, shouldn't you? And you got on it, and she was still that far.
Miles away.
Each foot was still that far away. And you're like, I don't mind it saying, if you could just about got your toe on floor, I'll live with it. But to be that far away, that's just not right. That's not right.
No, you're right.
I mean, Sean's right. I mean, my journey was hindered so much by not being able to have a bike that I was able to ride. I mean, I know I've seen, really good women ride and then, adjust their ride technique because they're so skilled. But I didn't have that skill in order to be able to adjust my riding technique. So to get a bike that was lowered enough for me to ride took me ages to find one and not have to pay through the teeth.
Oh, we've lowered everything, haven't we? And
we've had to lower everything, but you don't want to lower things to the point where it hinders the bike and stability, you know what I mean, and safety of all that. So I think in answer to that question, it would be, to make bikes where women are able to ride it in accordance to their physique.
Well, like BMW make a GS, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If all manufacturers did that, they all made a lowered version. Because at the end of the day, it's only a fucking lower. It's a longer dog legs. Not the fault. If you made some, it can't cost that much, can it? I think it's also a lower version.
I think a lot of manufacturers are starting to do that. I think Triumph do a lowering. They do a lowered Tiger. I'm sure KTM.
Somebody mentioned that.
Sure, KTM must do that. Yeah,
we looked at someone that was a bit too pricey, but you're like. For me, the more women in biking, the better. The more women in biking, more fellas look at that.
I mean, I do think this year there's been a massive increase of females now being on bikes. Yeah. But the expectation is, well, I don't know what you're kind about. You can go on a cruiser. Why should I have to make do with a cruiser? I mean, the great bikes, don't get me wrong, I enjoy all the bikes that Sinners are giving me that are cruisers are absolutely spot on, but they have their own difficulties when you're learning as well. As soon as I went on a terrain and I was on that kind of bike, I was
loved it.
Wow, what is happening?
Yeah. So what we did,
it's balanced, isn't it?
Today,
it was about 100 comments. We had about 100 comments going on about the Rebel, 500 Rebel. Is it a CD 500 Rebel? Whatever it is. 500 Rebel.
Oh, yeah.
Have you tried one of them? And you're like, 2 videos ago, we did a full video on it. But anyway, don't worry about that. Yeah, tried it. Faye didn't like it.
It didn't suit me at all.
It was like, it's a low bike. What they done, they made a low bike for a massive stretch to bars.
Yeah.
Faye's small all over. It's not the smallest, it's small all over. So we got the terrain, and Cindy said we could do what we want to it. Are we all right? Knocking out pretty low and put it forks up. Do what you want. And we did it. And it absolutely transformed Faye's view on bikes. She was now, because she rides, you know what? She does a lot of mountain biking and does a lot of off-road. It's just quite good on a bike off-road and that, over bumps, up curbs, she rides up steps and that.
That's why the 9 stitches in your chin. I have a tendency to fall off mountain bikes.
Yeah, she does fall off. You don't fall off gracefully, do you? You just sort of fall off, don't you?
Sean could have told you about his BMX skills,
Yeah. You see, when he was BMX, and I was on a mountain bike.
Right.
Yeah, if in doubt, Burlhouse. Yeah. But so we dropped the forks through the Sinis. not sort of preload off, they rode it, and that absolutely transformed the company. It was dirt on the thing. So I'm now sat up on what feels like a mountain bike with an engine. So now honestly, that was the start, wasn't it? That was the start of it.
That's when it clicked.
Yeah, that was the start of it. And everyone called Chinese bikes, they'll slag them off, but that was your ding moment, wasn't it?
Yeah. Confidence and like feeling comfortable on a bike is a huge part of motorcycling, isn't it? Massively. Because
that's my biggest thing.
Once you're comfortable and you're confident, you're relaxed, everything changes, doesn't it? Because when you're tense and you're really rigid, the bike just doesn't perform. The tires don't work. Nothing performs the way it should do when you're rigid.
You've got to be in tune with it. Yeah.
Totally. Don't get me started on fucking tyres. Don't get me started on tyres.
Quick, move on.
Yeah, Lee's got a question for you, Sean. What's your best motorcycle memory?
My best memory? It's not actually a good memory, but back in the day, it's probably my first motorbike. So when the GSXR 600, the Trad model come out, I got the second one in the country. Took a bank loan out to get it. Couldn't afford the bank loan. Mum said she'd help me out with it. So I got this GSX 600. I'd had it 4 weeks, and then my mate Clark used a massive Tourer. I said, no sat-navs, no phones, there's no mobile phone, there was fuck all then. It'd be like, you know what I mean? You had to pedal the fucking thing, you know what I mean? There was nothing. You had nothing. Holes in your shoes and everything, you had nothing. No, seriously. And my mate said, I fancy going to Portugal to Algarve. How young, hooked out.
Yeah.
Where's that? You know? So, so we did that. My best memory of ever on the bike was meeting outside at 2 o'clock in the morning to get to ride down to Portugal to get they don't operate now, but the P&O ferry to Bilbao in Spain.
How old was you?
What would have been then? Maybe 21. It was like it was a map up tank. So you got a big massive atlas, folded it up. It was off tank. But it was a wagon. I've been a wagon driver for 4 years. I thought I could actually read a map. And you'd be surprised, all other lads, they were like that with fucking map. Which made me
yeah. They couldn't even read a map.
So if it wasn't me or Clarky at the front, everyone was knackered.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to be watching this, I'm slagging me off now.
Some people cannot read a map. They just can't do it.
So why are you turning the map round? My best ever memory was the first time we met up. I had a rucksack, a Mizuno rucksack. You see the thing with bungee cord tied to the back seat, and that was me set for.
Anyways, which way?
Nearly 2 weeks in Portugal. I think I had 3 t-shirts, a pair of shorts, and a pair of trainers, and that was me done.
That's ample. I did a year and a half around the world with that, mate. It's fine. You'll be fine.
With that world.
Have I not mentioned you? Grab a beer, I'll tell you all about it.
Oh dear.
It's a cracking series, that, but I know people probably flat you with that, but no, it is a good series. That's I'm not sure I'm that thinking myself to do it alone. Do it to people. Probably think, you see videos of people go, and you're like, oh, you'd be fine. I wouldn't. I'm not good alone.
I reckon you would.
No, I wouldn't.
You meet people though. You meet people when you're you're traveling. Do you know what I mean? The times when you want a bit of company, you'll meet people. Yeah,
I was watching yours because I watched it early on, and you're like the times when you're struggling a bit. Like I'll be like, oh fuck this, I'll turn around and go on. You know, like.
Well, I mean, I did, didn't I? You know, when it went wrong in Africa, I did make.
I'd have gone on before that.
But then you
tried to get on the best you could, didn't you?
Yeah, it sort of changed me a bit. It sort of changed my mentality to the whole thing. When I got the opportunity to go again, it was like, right, okay, we're not gonna, because that was me. I put myself in that position in a frame of mind. You know, I got myself all worked up to go into Mauritania, and then everything that happened once I was in, it just adds and adds and adds and adds and adds. And if you're in a bad frame of mind, it's only going to go one way. It's just going to get worse, isn't it? So I sort of, I don't know, a switch went after that where it was like, right, okay, grow a pair. We're just going to deal with it. Whatever comes, just deal with it and focus on the end game. Doesn't matter how you get there, just focus on the end game. So I've always said this, you know, everyone says it in the military, they say it, don't they? No plan survives contact. So you have that idea in your head. Just the end goal is what we're going for. How we get there, we'll make up as we go. And that's pretty much That's pretty much my attitude to life now. Just I know where I want to go, and we'll figure it out along the way.
Yeah.
You know,
Right, my mates will be watching this. My mates are they all follow your channel, like, so I'm going to fucking jump in on this. Bastards, not of it. Right, so I'm going back, 23, 24 years ago maybe now, and we was touring the Pyrenees and all that. I was on one of the very first ZX7Rs. I was on one of them. There was a variety of bikes. There was two lads that sort of knew the route. There was Big Tim on a GE on a Bandit 1200, and he was the only one that had this like GPS sat nav. He works at Rover. That's how long ago. You know Rover cars.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah, Rover. Well, he works at Rover. He was a thingy for Rover. So we had this GPS. It wasn't like what we see now, but it was like you could sort of work out where we were. And Clarky sort of knew where we was going. Anyway, it was in I don't know how you pronounce it. Is it Biarritz, whatever?
Yeah, Biarritz.
So we had a night in there. So we got there, and it was Red Horse. So Clarky got, they'll have to do that up now. So he got sunstroke in the daytime. So we took it bed about 6 o'clock. He was done in. So Big Tim sort of on the route for the next day. So we was on keg all night. Got up. Clarky was all right next day. So Big Tim had planned this route. Halfway through the route, Clarky said, "No, I'll sort us out now." So we rode 31 degrees, 32 degrees all day. We must have rode for 8 hours, and then after about 8 hours, we turned back out to where we started. Everybody said,
no.
"Isn't this where it was this morning?"
Oh no!
Hell. So we done like 8 to 9 hours and not made a mile forward. So we ends up riding at this little town of Boston Pyrenees. We ended up stopping there. We got this hotel that put us all up. And was in this, it was like with the lads, 10 lads. So not even shit shower shape. It was in, get your fucking gear up, get chairs, let's get out. Okay. And then there's a massive beer started flowing, loose lips going.
About 8 hours drive.
8 hours, fucking like getting all kicked off. Proper kick.
Did it? Oh no!
Oh well, no problem. Some big lads as well. Holding everybody back and all that. And they calmed down. And about 3 o'clock in the morning, I was in the room, my door banging. Fuck's that? And this letter come on the door. Not that it was Big Tim. He said, "Sorry about tonight. I was only doing my best. I've gone home."
Oh no!
He's got to be watching this now. Fucking crying.
What, he left the tour?
Yeah, and he went home and he rode over the Pyrenees to just outside Wigan. So we left at 3 in the morning.
Without stopping?
Yeah, he was in Wigan for dinner time.
That's wrong.
Really?
Yeah, and you know about John Goss and Lands, he's in Wigan for dinner time. Yeah. And there was no sat nav. Now you put Wigan, wouldn't you? And
just follow
this was before sat nav, so you come out of hotel, you could be going any direction. Where you
follow the sun.
You wait until you see a sign and then start.
Yeah.
And you're like, nothing goes to plan. You can have all these best plans in the world. It just doesn't work like that.
No, definitely. That's life, man. That is life.
Yeah, no. He's a storyteller.
Oh, man.
Right, next one.
Right, folks, I have one personal shout out, and that's to all of you out there in the clan over on Patreon. I know Patreon is not everybody's cup of tea, folks. I totally get it. But for those of you who've gone the extra step to support me over on Patreon, I thank each and every one of you. I literally could not do this full time without you. You make up well over half my income for the month. So thank you for your support. It's you folks over in the clan on Patreon with your specific type of questions which you have a habit of leaving, which really do make the podcast. So thanks again for all that. And to each and every one of you out there who watch the vids over on the TeapotOne channel, who interact and engage with me through the comments, who go on the social media, ask questions there, or just leave comments, thank you so much for all of your support. And if you listen to the podcast, if you could do me one huge favour, head to Apple Podcasts if you have it, and there you can leave a review. I think it's the only one, it's the only podcast platform where you can leave a review. If you can, over there, 5 stars is most preferred if possible, but it really does help bump the podcast up in the charts and get it booted out to a much wider audience. As it is, somehow we're top 10% globally, so thank you for all your support. Right, let's get back to it.
We have got 1, 2, 3, Thanks. 6 more on Patreon, and then we're gonna have to batter through these because we are at 2.5 hours. All right.
Oh, this is one till April, mate. April.
I know, yeah. Next one, Colonel Bullen. Hi, guys. Great to see the podcast back. I believe everything happens for a reason, and there's no point living with regrets. But I do sometimes sit and think, if only I made a better decision where things would be a lot different now. If you could go back in time, what's the one decision you wish you could change? Well, you sort of touched on that earlier, Sean, didn't you?
But yeah, you've talked about the wagon driver.
I'd possibly not be a wagon driver, not be a bouncer. Right. I can't. I'm in middle with them. We'll go half of that. For me, not be a wagon driver and not be a bouncer.
What would you do different then?
Dentist.
What's that? Dentist?
Probably it's not wag school.
I think you should have done something with bikes. You should have your own garage.
Yeah. I'll go with that. I wish I'd have gone in because I'm quite handy with tools, but I'm self-taught. Basically,
you can take a bike apart.
Yeah,
and put it back
everyone who knows, I grew up on a really, really rough council estate with burdens that had fucking nothing. And if you didn't fix your own shit, it didn't get fixed.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford a garage. My parents couldn't afford to take a bike to the garage or a car or whatever. So you just worked it out. You got the fucking tool out. Basically, just looked around a fucking hammer, screwdriver, and you worked it out. Yeah. I wish I'd have maybe took that further and done it properly. No, I'll go with that. Yeah, I wish I'd done that. I wish I'd have been a mechanic.
Okay.
Because I actually enjoy it now. And taking the bike apart today, I was in my elements.
Yeah.
I'm a scruffiest mechanic, though. There's fucking tools everywhere, mate. The bolts and nuts are fucking all over. How that goes back together more than I'll ever know.
I'll tell you, you know, people often say that once your passion becomes your living, it becomes your job. The passion sort of goes, doesn't it? They often say that. And I always thought, no, there's how could doing what we do, like moto vlogging, YouTube, all that, I always thought, how could that ever become a chore? Because I absolutely, when I had a full-time job and then I did the moto vlogging as my thing, that was just my passion. I always thought, well, there's no way this could ever become like a ball ache. There's no way this could ever be stressful like a job is. And it is. It genuinely is, It's like
more so.
I find myself...
You clock off at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, whatever. It
never stops. Yeah. And I can find myself like a month, 6 weeks, maybe even 2 months, and I think, I've not ridden a bike. I've literally been sat in my office and I've sat here
you saying
and
that.
edited constantly.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I remember you saying that. Somebody commented. Somebody commented on something you said, and you said, I've not actually ridden my own bike so much recently, and you're like, it happens. It's easy, innit? Just to get sidetracked by life and Christ knows what, and that's not been out for ages.
Yeah.
Or leave sidelights on somebody's bike flat on the back.
Okay, for me,
someone talks about that.
Imagine. I wish I'd taken my test and got on a bike much sooner in life.
Yeah.
There's one massive one. I wish I'd met you sooner.
Well,
that's massive. We've said that loads, haven't we?
Yeah, because we do. Yeah. I know people are going to say, we're fucking about the video, this is us. If we were sat at couch watching, we'd still be talking the same shit and giggling the same. I won't be able to show you all these empty bottles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
It looks like a bar.
There's 16 empty bottles for it.
And anything else? I don't think there's anything else. I mean, I love teaching. It is hard work. It's such hard work. It's ridiculous. I wish I could do my art more, but I don't want to be like, I don't want to do my art more and then, find that I'm not enjoying it. So
it's hindsight as well, innit? You have this hindsight thing. You say, I'll change this, I'll do that, and what have you. But there's no saying it's going to be any better. It's just, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. When did you want to be a copper then?
Sheesh.
Going from a bouncer to a copper, that's like going to outside, isn't it?
Nah,
I was actually...
That's going from Luke to Darth, isn't it?
I was going down the military route. All through, I went to uni, and all through uni, I was like, I did mechanical engineering at uni. I I screwed up the first year, basically because I started working on the doors, so I never went to lectures. So
it kills everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Working
so
on doors absolutely destroys anything.
I was just never there, yeah. So my tutors basically said, look, you are going to have to either do a different course or you're going to have to resit first year. And I thought, I'm not resetting first year. So I changed and I moved to civil engineering because it was so different than mechanical. It just wasn't. And so I transferred to civil engineering, and then I ended up meeting my son's mum sort of my second year at uni, first year. I became a dad. Life just changed, and
it does. Yeah.
And I remember thinking, I remember doing a summer placement in an engineering company and just thinking, Jesus, I don't want to do this. I cannot see me doing this for the rest of my life, sat in an office. And I started looking at the military. It all went wrong with my son's mum. We split up. I finished at uni, and then my mum got diagnosed with cancer, and she'd moved back down to London by that point. And I just thought, I need to get away. I need a fresh start. So I'd actually started inquiring about joining the infantry, and at the same time, the Met were recruiting. And I just thought, well, they're in London. It's good money. They were offering good money. I thought, I'll chuck an application in and see what happens. Not thinking I'd get it, to be honest. And the application for the Met took nearly 2 years. And I remember I remember being in the Army Career Office on the Strand in London, and I was literally away to sign and say, right, I'm doing it. And I just phoned up the Met recruiting office and just went, look, I've been waiting for 2 years. You either give me a start date now or cancel it, and I'm joining the infantry kind of thing. Yeah. And she said, I'll phone you back in 10 minutes. She phoned back in 5 and said, right, you start in like 2 months' time. And that was it. I was then in the Met. And that was it, really.
Jesus. Yeah, the pictures outside down the street and that's a profile picture forever, that, isn't it? You know what I mean? If you'll get a profile picture, that's it, isn't it?
I don't regret my time in the old Bill at all, because I met amazing people. I experienced some amazing things. I grew as a person in that job because you're exposed to stuff that like normal people don't get exposed to.
Has it left the sour taste?
But it was time to move on.
Yeah. Has it left the sour taste though, or have you got over it now? You're like, oh, shit's happened from.
For the people in the job, no. I'll always love and respect the people I work with in the job. They're contrary to what everybody thinks. They're some of the best people you're ever going to meet.
Of course they are. People are human beings, are they? We all have
There's arseholes. There is arseholes, but most people totally. The organisation is a different kettle of fish. It's a very political. It's a massively political environment. I think it's lost its way massively, and I'm glad I'm no longer part of that. That's all I'll say.
Okay, say no more.
To be honest, haulage is the same now. Haulage, no matter what you delivered and what you're doing, there's too many rules and regs and what have you. Our place now at work, they're going to watch this. Okay, anyway. I can drive and get a job next day.
Yeah, but it's
that the blame culture. The blame culture at moments.
It's in everything.
It's worrying me.
There's no accountability.
Oh,
no one's accountable for what they do anymore. That's the problem.
If someone goes wrong at work, you think something. There's something missing. Oh, fucking hell! Everyone's look at the camera. Go do this. You go do that. You're like, fucking really? For a bottle of vodka? Honestly, and we think the fucking sucked it up back at one day.
It's like that education as well.
Yeah, but it's like the blame culture at work. It's like you don't want to find the solution. You want to find who's to blame.
Yeah,
don't ask about fixing it. Fixing it. What you could do on the spot by a bit of tweet talking. Listen, we'll get it here tomorrow. Be all right.
Next question.
Right, next one. Just like Colonel. Next one. TJ.
That could go on forever.
It could. I think that's the problem with a lot of the questions, isn't it? Is that you can't just sat and chat about one of these questions.
That blame culture. It's killing me.
It's the finger pointing in it.
Yeah, we'll chat about that in the pub then when we meet for real, for sure.
Absolutely.
TJ Shady Lane. Yeah, that's the one. Hi all, how do? Right then, first officially, congratulations on passing the test, Faye. We met at MCM Peterborough and you and my wife were at the same point in bike training. Both have now passed. My question,
Excellent.
of all the 125s that you tested, which one came to you in the worst state and did it look like it might have been ridden around the UK in 24 hours? Did you get it after I'd done the UK ride?
No. We got it after. No, we didn't. We got it after fucking Dickie Vegas throwing it up fucking mud and cleaning it.
Oh, right, yeah.
Really? I thought it was straight after Bristol.
No, that's what they said. And then Richie Vida mentioned that he might have had it and might have put it up floor, not fucking cleaned it.
Ah, okay.
Right.
If anybody else says me a bike not fucking clean, tell you.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I'd never do that. We wash. What's with me that?
No.
I'm here now with bike cleanliness, mate. I couldn't let a bike ride around my garden not clean. I couldn't do it. I can't do it.
So it was the Sinistry.
Obviously, now bikes and everything. Honestly,
it was the Sinistry.
yeah.
I always used to.
Shit,
Well, yeah, I've got to say, I always used to wash the press bikes before they got handed back, and then all the when the delivery people came to get them, they would always be like, "Oh wow, you've washed it. You must be new." And I was just, well, "What do you mean? You're not supposed to?" And they're like, "No, don't worry about it."
That's been given to us and sent back.
No, since we got that terrain in a shit high state, it's like fuck them now. They get it back out. It's fucking fun.
Wasn't that
But that City's Outlaw, that was someone else. That way.
I've not ridden that.
I love that bike. I'd buy one of them.
Would you?
Yeah, the City's Outlaw. I'd need one to work forever.
Sinistry are a good company, aren't they? They're really hot on their PR. They want to get their bikes out to everybody.
People say to me, that's what kills me. I'm saying you're saying it because they're giving you bikes. I'm not. That City's Outlaw was like, you
Are
don't.
you talking about the 315?
No, the Outlaw, the last bike we had with it was basically a Michigan with flat bars.
It was a 315.
It wasn't.
Was it not?
No, that was the thingy.
Well, then.
Calm down.
No,
Hey, calm down.
Oh, we have it all the time. This is what we do all the time.
There's been not any bikes. Was it the Bob? Was the high school? Was the
No, the very last bike we had. It was the 125, the new one, the Sinis Outlaw.
Okay.
It was basically a hoodlum with flat bars, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right. And it's a footboard and a kite instead.
Oh, yeah.
I wrote that word. It's like, fucking hell, you don't need no more than this. It does 70 miles an hour. It should work. It does like.
How are these 125s doing 70 mile an hour with you sat on it?
That's downhill. Uphill. 48.
It is downhill,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
As Faye said, I'm optimistic. I don't focus on the going down to fourth gear, going up on a carriage wheel.
You're a glasses half full type of guy, Sean.
Absolutely.
Right.
I like that.
Don't get me wrong. And then you
Definitely.
get
My kind of person.
Twisties. You get to twisties. You're like, as long as you're keen for it, you're like, want anything. Because you can
you just keep it pinned, don't you? Yeah.
Just keep it pinned. Let's fucking run it around. It's gone. I love it.
Next one. Cheers for that, TJ. Next one, Paul Sparrow. How you doing, Paul? Hello to you all.
Hi,
how are you doing, Paul?
It's a good boy, isn't he? Good lad. Thank you for all your hard work for our entertainment. I love watching your channels. Absolute pleasure. Never done any. Faye, your artwork is awesome. I love the sketches of the bikes. Are you planning on doing any more? Maybe one of Bluebell.
Well, yeah, no, I haven't done one for ages. You were saying that, yeah.
Basically, we could turn this round a little bit. You see that massive giant CV1300 sat in conservatory. We bought it as an investment.
What, you trying to say I need to draw it or something?
No. We bought it as an investment weekend.
Well, he's talking about what we're going to draw.
I know what we're saying, but that wasn't there. We were drawing all the time, weren't we?
Keep him on track, Faye. Keep him on track.
Yeah. It was dark.
It's taking up spaces, H.
Yeah, it's a long story, and we're supposed to have a garage built. It's a new estate. Right. Permission's got, it's
gone on, done on. Paul, if you come up with the next bike that I need to draw, I'll draw it. Well, I'm not trying to draw.
Not driving an ambulance. No, I'm not doing that.
Why not? Why wouldn't you draw an ambulance? He's, I mean, obviously, rightly so. He's very proud of being in the ambulance. He colour it in.
Honest to God.
Right, so something green and yellow, isn't it?
I I don't know. You know what? I've never drawn a Ducati. I've never rode a Ducati. We've never rode a
except this one here.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
Don't be on this.
I've never rode one.
Except that one there. Yeah.
I don't know. Who dropped off one of the bikes and said that there's a bike I've never drawn? When 44 dropped off each.
Yeah, because, right, we're getting on now. She said it now anyway. Yeah, so we got that bike when Chris from 44 Teeth used to run.
Oh, yeah, that
could we
company.
be saying this?
Yeah, why not? You're not giving it away, are you?
It was damaged, wasn't it? And,
it doesn't matter.
I know it is. And anyway, yeah, because that bike's basically come from Barnstormer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Our mates got off this who owned it before, and oh, fuck's sake.
That's okay.
What a can of worms here.
All right,
anyway, it turned up damaged and melting, but it was all through. So we talked to Baron about this, and it was sort of the actual customer service though. If anybody ever says that, it was amazing. It was amazing, wasn't it? Amazing, man.
Okay, I don't know.
Anyway, there's a bike conservatory there, blocking phase artwork space, and it needs to go because we have no space to put it.
So Paul, tell me what bike to draw.
So you want Paul to tell you what bike, and then you'll do it.
And it can't be an ambulance.
Right. He also says, when planning your trips overseas, where do your plans start? I.e., do you look at points of interest, or do you look at places to stay and go from there?
Can I answer this?
Yeah, go on.
You will never know. We always book coming home first. Okay. It's weird. I know we have done that for the last 3 tours. Getting the journey, knowing when you're coming home and booking the journey home, where you're finishing.
Yeah.
Then you can start to plan.
That's all we're doing.
That's what we've done.
We basically travel abroad with no plan except the plan for coming home.
We know when we're coming home.
Right, we've got to get such a place by such a date.
Yeah.
How should we get there?
Yeah.
And we wing it day by day. Hence, if you find somewhere brilliant, like the COVID tour, 2020. So we stopped in Black Forest and we dropped on some unbelievable weather. A hotel that was 70 quid and it was just amazing. So we ended up stopping there 3 nights. And it was unbelievable. It was something else.
You know what? I don't think we'd do it any other way, Bruce, because as long as you know where you need to be when you're on your way home, the journey to that point can be wherever you want to be.
And we always try and have 2 nights in Amsterdam at way home. Because
we can chill.
Because where we live, it's easy to ride home from Hull to St. Helens to Folkestone. That ride from Channel Tunnel back to us.
It's horrific.
I'd rather think of the old ass.
Yeah,
it's an absolute fucking shocker. No, it is, honestly, it's a fucking shock. It's ridiculous.
And with me being on the back, I just fall asleep. It's horrible.
Oh, it's terrible.
And it's always, at the end of a tour, that last bit home, I always find that when I'm literally 38 or 40 miles from the Channel Tunnel. It's nothing. But that last bit, when you come off the tunnel or off the ferry, it's just soul destroying. That last little stretch home, isn't it? So imagine when you've still got a 5 hours, 6 hours. And you've got 5-6 hours of it.
That's on a fucking good day. That's not getting held up.
So yeah, the answer to your question, we plan the end first and then we go forward. That's how we do it.
Yeah, so what we do, we usually book our first hotel and last hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And then we know where we've got to get to, we know where we're starting, and then we sort of plot it in between, and we basically wing it. And we get to an hotel that's got a decent bar, and it's decent night. We get slagged off the door, but we try and make it like a tour stroke holiday. I know it's not for everyone. It's everyone to their own and all that.
Yeah.
But
we're not alcoholics. I just need to let you know that.
It's bordering.
I do miss the freedom of trips like that. Like I don't often get away just by myself now, and when I am just by myself, I'm sort of like that in that I know when I need to be back, and then everything else in between. I'll literally, I don't book any hotels. It gets to like 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I just go on booking.com and go, right, where am I going to get to by 5-6
exactly
o'clock?
What we do. We pull over about 2 o'clock with your frost boots.
Yeah.
Well, luckily, because we're on certain apps, we can get apps that give you last minute luxury apartments for pennies.
See you right until 2 o'clock though, you go over and then look for somewhere nearby and go for that.
Definitely. But what I have, like a learning lesson for me, you might like this, Paul, is that I will now do a little bit of research about where I'm going to, like things to see, because certainly on the world trip, the amount of times I would get to a hostel somewhere, meet other travelers, and they were like, "Oh, where have you come from?" And I'd say what I was doing. And they're like, "Oh, did you go here and do that? And did you go and do that?" And I'll be like, "Oh, yeah, shit, no, didn't know anything about that."
Yeah.
So
never heard of it.
You're absolutely right. We're going to try and do that this year.
Yeah. So I do try and have a little look and see what's around where I'm going to be and just see if there's anything in particular that I'd like to go and see, for sure. But yeah,
you still got your Jigsaw, Bruce?
Oh yeah, she's still out in the garage. She doesn't run.
You're right, like,
no, she's not. She's not roadworthy at the moment. I mean, the last time I rode her was 2015, so she need. Oh yeah. So she'd need. Well, I mean, the rear subframe's held on with one bolt. The other 3 have all failed.
Oh my Lord!
Yeah, and then all the rear plastics, the fairings, the tail section, everything's held on with bungee cord and a bungee cargo net. That basically
that's cool. That's cool.
That holds the back of the bike together. So to get her through an MOT, it would obviously need all that changed. It's still got a buckled front wheel.
You need to test it.
Yeah, so it'd need a fair bit of work to get her through the MOT. And I don't want to lose.
I'm sure I can sort that out.
Well, I don't want to lose it.
You probably could.
Yeah, you could.
I know people.
I don't want to lose any of the character or the patina of the bike. So like a lot of the hoses and stuff will all need replacing now because they'll be all corroded to buggery. So it'll need a bit of work to get her back on the road, but I do want to get her back on the road. Definitely.
Gotta be done. Absolutely.
Right, where are we? Demo, cheers for that, Paul. Next one, Demo Chavo. Right then, a question for all 3 of you. Road trip. Who are you riding with, alive or dead or famous or not, doesn't matter. And where are you riding and why? We've kind of done that one, haven't we?
Yeah.
Well, no, if you had the choice.
Well, you've got bloody Pamela Anderson.
Yes, Pamela Anderson.
No, on this one, Kevin Schwartz at Laguna Seca.
Oh, okay. That's a little bit different than Pammy Anderson on the back.
That's probably my... If somebody said to you that you could do anything on any bike or whatever, Kevin Schwartz on a 500 two-stroke at Laguna Seca, I'll be done with it tomorrow. Be all right with that.
I'll go with Foggy then.
I'll be all right with that.
Right, seems we're all changing it. I'll have no best. I'll have
Here we go. We've all got someone we fancy.
Right. Yeah, we could do anything, so people ask these questions and you don't think about it, and you're like,
not at all.
I'm missing all sort of thing.
See, we're doing the podcast. I get similar, like things like that. You get that coming up in questions
you have
quite a lot.
Questions you already have.
Yeah,
but then you get like some me answering
first.
Yeah, and then you get me answering first, saying some pornographic thing, and then you both bring family members into it.
Because I've done the whole sexy CD comment before. I've said that before. But I can never remember what I've said half the time. And like people come back to me and go, on episode such and such, you said this, but this time you said that. And I'm like, I don't know, what are you thinking on your feet? Right, next one. Cheers for that demo. Mark Keenan. There we go. Good evening, Sean.
Top box man, isn't it?
It is. It's Mark from Leeds. Actually, they know me. I supplied them with some dividers, top box dividers. My question to both of you are, question 1, what is the most ridiculous fact you know? That's a goodie.
Ridiculous fact you know?
Yeah. Jesus. I don't know any facts.
You know loads of general knowledge. You were a general knowledge man.
Spot on it. I don't know fuck all about anything, but I know a lot about nothing. You know what I mean? I must know something. I must do.
That puts you on the spot, doesn't it?
You can answer it for me while I get you the beer.
What it is, we put the Airlick garden conservatory that's in garden. And, if you could see that way now, there's tools everywhere because I've actually been stripping gap in the swing down today.
I know, yes.
I'm dead excited, but
because you've got the new bike that you can't talk about.
You know what? It's been I've had it 3 years.
Okay,
it's been on, I know, but it's been got 3 tours, 4 European tours, and it's never missed a beat. And it's hard work, just saying goodbye to someone like that. Anyway, what was it?
Ridiculous facts, you know.
Yeah, facts, you know.
My facts aren't ridiculous. All my facts are part of what I do.
Okay, just give us one of them then, because I'm really struggling.
I know the difference between different pencils from a 2B to a 6B and a H and a fine H, and someone else will go, what do you want to know that for? That could be a ridiculous
fact, you know. This is actually not ridiculous, but if anybody knows me, I'm into wheelies. And I'm not bothering. It's if you ride a mountain bike or any kind of anything, put your back brake on your right hand side, on your right hand. Because all wheelies are controlled by your back brake. They have nothing to do with anything else in the world. Nothing to do with power, nothing to do with power. All back brakes. Wheelies are back braked. Just go too high, give it a dab, bring it down a bit, release it. That's how it is. That's I can't get nothing else. Struggling.
So why would you move it to the right hand side then?
Because you're right. Most people are right-handed.
Automatically go for your right hand.
So when we ride mountain bikes,
I'm left-handed. So
yeah. Oh, you're left-handed. Oh,
yeah, I'm a freak. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't count. Yeah, but left-handed people can't wheel. No, what it is.
You're right. I can't.
What it is. I'm murder with wheelies. I used to. I don't do them recently, but I'm murder with wheelies. We put a few mountain bike videos up on a wheelie for miles and what.
Very impressive.
It's not like people say like about how hard it is. It's not about the weight, the pedals, the height. That's nothing to do with it. It's all about brake. Everything with wheels, about brake. It's about when it's going a bit too high, just give it a nudge, bring it back down, start going again. Yeah. And that's the same on a motorbike. When it's going too high, give it a nudge up pedal, bring it back down.
I'll have to put them on the wheelie course, won't I?
Yeah. I would love that. Yeah, definitely.
As a present.
I always used to say, as a copper, you know, if we saw people doing wheelies and stuff, like all my muckers would be like, "Oh, that's well out of order. It's dangerous." Blah 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 blah. And I used to turn around to them and go, "Do you know how hard that is? Do you know how much skill that takes?"
So good one.
Yeah, they're not out of control. If anything, they've got more control of that bike than I've got. You know, and I think a lot of people don't get that. It's a different matter when people are totally out of control and hurtling down a street. You know, that's out of order. But those people that can just pop it on the back and just glide away.
Yeah.
Like, that's
well,
stunning.
like you said, we did the thing, and we was I went into we were talking about bikes, didn't we? And I did this wheelie up mountain bike for fucking went on forever and ever.
The thing,
and every comment was, "You should have an helmet on."
Oh
God, the wheelie was on fucking heavy on top of the helmets. Really? The wheelie was smart.
I don't wear helmets on mountain bikes. No way.
Everyone to their own. I'm not wearing a helmet on a mountain bike.
I think one thing we've learned.
I know I'm going to get battered for this now.
All day long.
Always wear gloves. We wear the gear, but I'm not wearing helmets on a mountain bike. If it becomes law, I won't ride bikes on. What it been?
I think there's one thing we've learned in this podcast: don't read the comments. I think we've pretty much
don't read the comments.
We've pretty much ascertained that.
Don't read the comments.
Mark's got a second question. What would be the absolute worst name you could give your child? Cool. Worst name.
Worst name.
I think Putin or Vladimir at the moment. That wouldn't be good.
Oh my lord, yeah. Absolutely. I don't know, naming a child after a star or something to do with space.
Pamela.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, it's I'm no Catholic or nothing. Yeah, it's they all do it now, don't they? They all like name the kids after some weird random stuff. All that you said, like stars and
March.
I think Adolf is always going to be a bad name now.
Oh,
I don't think there's ever going to be a time where Adolf will come back in fashion.
Yeah, she was to Vladimir at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Nice one, Mark. Cheers for that. Last one on Patreon. Debbie Clegg. Hello, for all three. Who out of all the YouTubers you know would you trust to ride pillion with on a sports bike? And which bike would you choose if you could for that? Oh, hang on, what? And which bike would you choose if you could for that? Who would you trust to ride pillion with on a sports bike? And which
so
bike
you're
would
having
you
a
choose?
YouTuber. You're not bike. What bike would it be?
So they're riding in your
She's
pillion.
done this on purpose. Have you asked to send this in?
I know, yeah.
No.
You said this, haven't you?
You know what?
Debbie's done this all for her own bike.
Yes. No, fuck off. That was he's fucking well set up this one.
Yeah.
Well set up this one.
I don't know, Debbie. I mean, if, as a pillion anyway.
On back of a YouTuber. Apparently, allegedly.
I know, yeah. I think I'd want a little bit more excitement. I'd probably go, oh, no, I don't mean from yourself, babe. Not safe. I'd like to go on the back of 44, one of them, their bikes, and
wow,
go.
Yeah.
That would just be so exciting for me, because I've never, from the store that they're doing at the moment, I wouldn't want to be on any of the bikes that are on right now, but just something a bit of fun.
Yeah. Fagan would be a riot, wouldn't he?
It would be hilarious.
Out of the guys I know, obviously I was just thinking of like TMF, Chopsy, Rich, all that.
We struggle, though, don't we? Because imagine if we're on the back of a bike, suddenly a wheelie machine in it. It's turned from whatever bike it is, it's now a wheelie machine in it.
One day, and you're going to be playing on my bike. No, whatever bike it is, but you will be playing.
Make sure your feet can touch the ground.
I'll put some
or at least Sean's can. Yeah.
Good man. I'll put rollerblades on the machine.
It'll happen. It's got to happen.
Yeah, I think for me it'll be Dickie Vegas. I'd get on the back and for Rich, because he can wheelie. Got good control of a bike. So yeah, I would go with Dickie. Right, that's all the ones on Patreon. Thank you very much, everybody over in the clan who submitted those
only
questions.
Took 2 hours.
And 3 hours.
3 hours. 5:07.
We're 3 hours into it. What I suggest we do, because there's a lot of questions on Facebook and Instagram, I think we're just going to have to grab some random ones. Are you up for that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. We're doing no rush.
We'll be as fast as we possibly can. You need to be quiet.
Right, we'll fire across onto Instagram, so that's at TeapotOne Insta. I'll leave the links all for Faye and Sean's socials. I'll leave them all down below, folks, so make sure you give them a follow as well. Right, first one. Who have we got here? Motor MA77. Who left the parking light on the SV? And any news on the next big bike joining your clan? So go on then. Who's responsible for the battery?
Dawn left the light on the SV all day long.
I nearly did it today. It was
it's
ridiculous. It actually clicks into it from nothing.
I parked up at Preston BMW, and
what were you doing there, Faye?
No idea why I was there. And then I parked up at home, and I just locked up my own bike, and I put the parking lights on, and I had to turn it off. So it was his fault originally.
So I was getting the bikes out.
You're not going to outlive that bit.
I know. I was getting the bikes out, and I was clicking the ignition up. I thought, I think it's got more than one click. I thought, no, so I clicked it to on. All the ignition come on, all the light. I'll be all right. But I thought I'd nothing happened there. Oh, fucking hell. And then we bump started it. Fucking ever end of it. Well, you can't bump start a new bike by yourself.
Okay, that's another story.
Yeah. Nice, Faye. Nice. Next one, Lugal79. If you could ride anywhere in the world on it, we've done that, on any bike, where and what would it be? Well, we covered that one. Cheers.
Yeah, we've done that. Sorry.
Whiff_71. Sean and Faye. It is what it is. I want £1 for every time Sean says that. Is that your
t-shirt?
Yeah, it's on my t-shirt.
Yeah. I was going to say, that's like my live your life thing. That's your thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ask about Scotland. Ask about the big man's time in the military. Were you in military?
He was, yeah.
Yeah, I had a bad time in it, to be honest. He was one of those. Remember, had a stroke that ended up killing her. My mate committed suicide. So, yeah, I had a bad couple of years in it. That's why I was trying not to team up. Yeah, I went in.
Oh, mate, do I get...
basically for the HGV licence and what have you. And
You enjoyed it, didn't you? When you were in the military?
Yeah, it was all right. Just a lot of things happened in the background, which made it. I try and. To be honest.
I mean, he was pulled out of the military, really. You know.
Well, I came home. My mum had a really bad stroke. It paralysed the full right side and what a speech and everything. I came out and got offered for it to come out. I took it. You know, it was just shit. Loads of shit at the time. It was like I couldn't see myself going back with what was going on.
And that's where you got your training for the.
Yeah, that's when the wagon started. And you went from there, and it was short and sweet, but.
But I know that when you recall the military, it kind of has instilled some really strong.
Well, still all the people that were there, still in contact with people and all that. But it was just one of those things. It was like a load of bad things that happened at the same time. You know what I mean? Shit happens, doesn't it? Shit happens.
It's a stage in life, mate. Well, it's a stage in life, and you take from it whatever
like
you
what
do.
You said, Bruce, things happen for a reason in life, do they not? And it wasn't for me. It wasn't for you that day.
Yeah, probably wasn't meant to be.
I'm a firm believer in that, and I think not everything's enjoyable that happens in life, but in a certain way, you have to go through certain things in order to. I don't know what it is, but you have to go through the bad times in order. Maybe it is to appreciate the good. I don't know. Maybe it changes you along the way.
I agree,
I don't know. I really don't know.
Well, that was the first time I'd ever seen my mum in any kind of fucking sickness, because my mum and dad were really fit all the lines. And then they got this, somebody come fucking weirdly enough, we're playing fucking rugby union, which I actually didn't even understand. The ball's flying everywhere. And somebody come flying up pitch and said, you've got to get home. Your mum's not so good. I went home and like, fucking hell, not so good. And they went from there. So, yeah, it happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It happens. So, I like say, both my parents are gone now. So, it's all I've got.
It's part of life, isn't it? Sadly, it's just something that happens to all of us eventually, but it's never easy to deal with. Yeah. Right, next one. Roscoe Wills 18. Where's your favourite place to tour? So everywhere you've been, what's the favourite?
For me, probably Pyrenees still.
Yeah.
You know, the parts, what the regulars don't, but yeah, for me, the Pyrenees. I know everyone's got some Picos and what have you, but for me, still Pyrenees. It's by far. I don't know. You always see drop on the weather, though, with the list. It's always goes in it. Yeah, it's.
What is it about the Pyrenees then compared to Picos? Because I'm a Picos man. Picos for me is the one. What is it that attracts you to the Pyrenees?
It's a bit more sweepy. I think for me, don't get me wrong, I'm saying this like I don't like the Picos. I love the Picos. I go there every day, week to the coast. It's brilliant. But I think the Pyrenees are a bit more sweepy, so you can keep a bit more speed. And
definitely.
Everyone's got their own way of riding, haven't they? Some people like the slow, stop, turn around, squirt, something, you know what I mean? Which is basically the Picos in it. All the Pyrenees are fine, it's a bit more flowing. You can it's a bit more speed in the straights, and you can crank over a bit more. I like that a bit more. I like that flowing part of high speed flowing. Stopping that slow stuff on the Picos. It's all good. Don't get me wrong. I'm really struggling to fucking differentiate, but it's like a really good thing to it. A really good thing. It's like but I think for me the Pyrenees is a bit more faster, a bit more flowing for me. You can like if you like excitement and that. So don't forget, when you see the videos, you want to see what we let you see. You don't see the three figures and Christ knows what. You don't see any of that. You know what I mean?
Do you get a lot of that?
We've all been there, we have our fun, don't we? And
you get it in vid reviews, don't you? Oh, you've not even touched the potential of that bike. And you're just like,
you've no idea what
put it on camera, can you? You know what I mean?
It's like, we're 220 mile an hour. I'm coming. See what we full luggage, you'd great that, won't it? Yeah. So for me, Pyrenees, I think it's a bit more flowing. Yeah, I think you can get a really good rhythm going, and it's like you're bouncing between third and fourth gear all the time for me. On good stretches, and I like that. Like you're coming into a bang to third, crank it on fourth, bang to I like that. I like that. That
You're making me want to go now.
What
about you, Faye?
I've not rode those roads, have I? I've only been on the back.
You've got Southport,
as pillion, what's been your favourite place you've been to?
God, the Spanish mountains. Yeah, they for me they're the most exciting.
We dropped on, didn't we, on that COVID tour when we went with COVID.
Yeah, and then Germany.
We got to the stag on the top of the Picos.
Yeah.
There was like underlying clouds, wasn't it?
So
gorgeous,
anywhere for me where when we stop and we take clips of it all, then I bring it home.
Multiple choice.
I always take it back to paper for me, don't I? But whenever we've travelled and I can capture it in some other way other than the camera, then for me that's more magical. So the Spanish mountains, the stag, all that kind of stuff, and then Germany was a stonker for us when we were doing the mountains and when we were doing the roads in Germany. That was just exciting. It was brand new for us. We've done Spain loads, we've done France loads, and that's why I'm so looking forward to Italy. You know, it's a brand new road that I've never experienced.
Yeah.
So they're all fantastic, and in answer to that question, you can't really differentiate because they're all fantastic at the same time.
Absolutely.
Being on a bike, being at the back of the bike is beautiful. It's just a beautiful experience, and it's lovely to be able to do it over and over and over again. I'll never get bored of it. Mm-hmm. I'll never get bored of it. Keep back. That was a quick piss, love.
I wasn't.
The bees here, right? You don't have to go there. It's just here.
Oh, shit.
Honestly,
it is weird to hear like your viewpoint as a pillion in that you really enjoy it, because I hate it. I hate being on the back of a bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a control thing. Excuse me.
Hang on.
Jesus Christ, Sean, how long are we going for?
I must admit, Bruce, that as a rider now, I am finding it a little bit more difficult being a pillion. I do prefer to ride myself, but I do understand the logistics of it when we're going around touring.
You were rusty today, though, weren't you?
I was a little bit rusty today.
Have you done that, Bruce? Have you had a couple of months off the bike and then got back on and not been? Yeah. I said to Faye, don't be worried about that. I'm saying I've been riding 30 odd years. I can have like December to whatever off, and you get all the you can run all year round. But whatever, but you have the 3 months off, and then you get back on it in fucking April or whatever, and you're like a newcomer. You're like, what the fuck?
You've got to get the brain up to speed again. You know, like taking in all the information and everything working. Yeah, absolutely.
You're still trying to get used to the leaning over part, which is absolutely alien, and it's a car driver, absolutely alien. Leaning over in it and
counter steering, pushing on the inside bar. And,
it's.
I don't mind the counter steering. I just don't bring the body into it.
It's not enough.
Right. Let's go for the last one, because we're 3 and a bit hours into this, and my wife will be going crazy. Because yeah. We started at 7, didn't we? Oh, mind you, we had a wee bit of time, 10 minutes off there. Let's have a quick look and see what's a good challenging question to end on. Okay, right. Dale Wintle. Hey, Bruce, Sean, and Faye. Hope everyone is well. My question to you all: if you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be? Keep up the great content and all of your safe riding. Okay, so if you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be? I like these ones. I like these questions.
Well, I think.
Well, you know mine.
Go on.
Yeah, I am going to go conventional. It's my bloody height and my sight. It's my height and my sight. I'm blind. I don't know about you.
Oh, well, you had your first ride today with contacts, didn't you?
I did.
How'd you find that?
Oh, nightmare putting the contacts in, but when you're on the bike with contacts, it's absolutely fantastic. I was made up.
Sounds like HD.
Yeah. Oh, it was fantastic. I didn't have to worry about putting glasses on and off.
You can't read from there with anything, can you?
The only trouble with contacts is in 2 years' time, they'll have contacts which are bifocals, which is short-sighted and long-sighted. So with my contacts, it's just long-sighted, so I could see everything I was doing on the bike today. It was fantastic. But when I tried to read my phone, I was like, oh my God, I can't see my phone.
Gotcha.
I couldn't see, something right in front of me. So that was great. And yeah, I know I want to be tall.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong. Sean,
just so I don't have all that shit with the bikes being lower and having to reach up high. I know it's crap, but never mind.
I get people asking me, like, I'll do a review of a bike, and I always say I'm 6'3", 20 odd stone. I always let people know my dimensions, and I'll get people going, I'm 5'3". Do you think it would be okay for me? And I'm just like,
absolutely fucking no idea.
I've no idea. I couldn't tell you. I genuinely couldn't tell you. And but the amount of people out there who will go and buy a bike without test riding it, that's what gobsmacks me. I'm like,
don't go there. Don't go there. Don't.
The amount of BMW GS Adventures with no miles, next to nothing miles in the deals.
No.
People are bought and thinking, I'm the next Ewan fucking McGregor. And like,
it ends up being too big for them.
When you've rode that, like the SV, I bought the SV because I've been on the SV and know what it feels like and know what the engine's like. That's why I bought it.
Yeah. I always say to people, just go and chuck your leg over one, take it for a spin, see what you think.
I really struggle with that. When people say like, what bike do you want and what bike, what should I get? You're like, get whatever you like. Don't give a flying fuck about reviews and that. Get what suits you and what you're happy with.
What makes you smile?
You start buying bikes on reviews, you're going wrong already. Go try everything.
But watch them. Obviously, watch the reviews.
Yeah, watch the reviews. Especially ours. Yeah, watch the reviews. No, you got to do it. But people get sucked into buying what are the so-called...
So what would you change?
Me.
You can tell you're a teacher, Faye. You can tell you're a teacher. Keep them on track. Keep them on track.
And I probably should have stuck. I was too quick to get out of school for me.
Oh, you wish you'd stayed at school longer?
School shit.
Yeah. No, I know, but I took the piss from like year 3 and what have you. I wish it maybe, took a different path. From wagon driving and whatever.
It is different when you do a degree and you do study.
I wish it had took maybe, at the time I thought,
what would you do a degree on? If you had the chance to do
Pablo
a degree.
Anderson.
Well,
you've already done that, mate. You got an honours. You got a master's in that.
Honours in that.
You didn't get a first degree in that.
You get double honours.
No, not thing.
It's a difficult question.
I wish I'd have gone into mechanics or something, because I do actually enjoy it. That's the worst thing about it. I do actually enjoy it.
You're bloody good at
it. I love ripping things apart, and it's not bringing yourself up by any means. I'm all right at working things out. When something's broke, I'm all right to turn it down and fixing it.
Do you know what? It's so funny when people say that. I haven't done a degree. You have this expectation that you do a degree and you're going to learn something on your degree. You don't. You just give them the opportunity to study at a level and give them the chance to do it yourself. It's mostly independent learning.
Absolutely.
I didn't learn anything because in my art degree. I taught myself, really, just given the opportunity to do it to a very high level.
Yeah.
And it's luxury.
And it's about self-discipline, time management and everything like that. Yeah. And that's really what I struggled with at uni, because at school, I was almost a straight A student at school, because I was at home and my mum and dad were making sure I was working.
You had that security, didn't you?
Yeah. But the second, like at 17, I'm off to uni, I'm all by myself. There's beer everywhere, women everywhere. I'm starting the doors. I'm playing rugby with the uni. The whole social side of life took over, and it was like, I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to bother going to uni. I'm having too much fun doing this. So, I failed at that massively. That initial first year, for sure.
I'll second that. It happens a lot at the time.
Uni isn't everything.
No, it's not. It's not for everybody.
I loved it. I loved it. Absolutely adored it, but not for everyone.
Uni's about I think it's as much about the social side and meeting people. It's the next stage in life, isn't it? It's developing the ability to talk to people, finding out who you are and who you're gonna become. Because you change, don't you? You change massively in your 20s. I found massively. Trying to think of the one thing I'd change about me.
So when you look at better now, Bruce, when you look at better now, do you see yourself with all that beard ever?
Without
I
it?
look at you, because I look at you now with that beard, and I see the old videos. I still look for the old face there. I can see it. I can still see it.
You trying to touch him there, baby?
Yeah.
You're reaching out.
I just see a fat lump, so I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy to hide behind this beard.
I look fucking homeless.
Well,
I can't. Case in point. No, but you grow a beard and you like to get. And I grow a beard and look fucking homeless. I'm like,
I think if I could change one thing, and I don't want to end on a morbid note, but I think when my mum passed away or was passing away, I didn't realize she was near the end. You know, it was only in the last 2 weeks when she went to the hospice. That was like, in fact, do you know what? It was probably the last week when she was in the hospice where I was like, oh shit, this is real. Up until that point, I just assumed mum would get over it because she always had. She'd always just bounce back and she got over it. So I think if I could change one thing, it would make more use of that last time with her. You know, that last sort of 6 months, 8 months that I had with her, just to, because I don't feel like I ever said bye-bye. You know, to
million percent. Yeah. We had the same thing with my dad. Basically, I had just left home. I went home for, at this moment, can't even remember the reason I went home. She'd had a stroke, obviously, when I was in the army.
Yeah.
Couldn't speak proper. 20 years right side of my body. I could see on the doorstep. Really. I went in. My dad with name was Harry. He's not so good when he gets to the hospital. At the time, I had an XR3i. Blasted it to the hospital. My mum held his right hand. I had that down, and he died within 15 seconds of being there.
Oh, mate.
Oh, it's fucking shocking, mate. Absolutely shocked. And yeah, like I said, I wish I'd have had that. I know that while he was still conscious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The last time I saw him, I give him a shave me, let's shave it. He said, can you shave me? And you always think now, did he know he was going? And you're like, fucking hell, that's that? How deep's that? You're like, my dad asked the night before, was at the hospital, I shaved my dad, would let him shave it. And I shaved him and all that. And then the next time I saw him, I might have died. You're like, what the fuck? Oh. Anyway,
I'll tell you what, we cannot end on that. We can't end on that.
No, we definitely can't end on that.
Get some porn on.
Right, let's have a little look. What's a good one that we can end on? Let's have a look. Just read one. Hi, Bruce. Hope all is well. Good luck. They like to talk.
You didn't know that.
Yeah, I did. Let's have a little look. Okay, let's go with this one then. Craig Lowe.
Here we go.
From the nice, from what we've just been discussing, here's his first question: whose farts smell the worst?
Oh my God, definitely Sean's.
Man, when I'm having German beer.
And especially while he's drinking this stuff, I'm going to suffer tonight.
Oh, good luck. Good luck. Yeah.
We're on 21 bottles now.
He's got another question. You both said you don't take YouTube seriously and it's just a giggle. What winds you up the most about other channels? Oh, brilliant. What winds you up most about other channels?
When people do split screens.
Split screens?
What, like this?
And you saw the forward version and the
yeah.
I get you trying to look fucking fancy and what have you, like, what you can't look at one of them. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I think I've done that.
It's like, to show one view, you can't watch two things at once. It's like,
do many people do that though?
Huh?
Do many people do that?
There's a few,
there's a few of the new ones now thinking,
it's clever and
yeah. And again, you think, oh yeah, I'll try and get my way in by doing this. It's like, no, don't do that. Just be yourself and just put one.
We do watch quite a lot of YouTube, but we don't watch television.
Yeah, we watch a lot of YouTube and it's for me, it's people trying to be too fucking fancy. You're like, be you are. As me, I just be fucking out. People don't like it. Fucking, you give it a try.
I must admit, I am I don't really like, sales pictures on the channels. I mean, we watch a lot of van lives. We want to get a van. We want to travel in a van more than we do on a bike.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of sales.
No, that's a big thing. That you've got on YouTube now. We actually watch. Our main thing on YouTube is watching van lives. People who travel all around the world. That was our ambition.
Eventually,
get a van and travel around the world.
With 2 bikes attached to the van.
Obviously, do it. Make sure you do it.
No, we will. I mean, we will. That's our thing. We will. But it's the intermittent having to advertise something to do that.
And it's an easy win, and we get it. We do get it.
We get it. Yeah, we're bored. We can try and want to move it on,
but for me, it's like when new channels start and all that, and it's like the put too much into it. You're like, man, no one wants. Enjoy the part that you're doing. Enjoy it. Record it, and then let's see that. But suddenly the screen splits because in reverse view, the front view. Can't watch both of them.
But I think from the editing point of view, I think everyone, not everybody, some people want to try and not raise the bar. They want to be different. They want to set themselves aside. I get that.
The trouble with YouTube is the bar doesn't want to be raised, does it? With YouTube,
it does, but not in our niche. Like where we are, motovlogging. It just doesn't.
No one.
It doesn't work.
Not in
we don't say, man. We put a video out. Fucking great. We put loads of bits of fucking, and it's done nothing.
Yeah.
You put a bit of shit out on mobile phone. It's dead good.
I've done real fancy intros, real fancy like slow motion B-roll buttery sequences and stuff, which take a lot of editing into a little like 30-40 second sequence. And I'll rarely get somebody going, that's some cracking editing, I know what work's gone into that. But I'll get people going, I just skipped that. I want you chatting stuff on the bike. And you're like, oh, it just doesn't work in the motorcycle.
You can't win, can you? Because we're the other side. I watch your stuff. And because we cut the shut basically. So I watch your stuff, you're like, fuck, and you're like, the effort that's gone into it, you're like,
So you do whatever you do for you. If you're happy with it and you want to put it out, then as long as that's all you can go by, isn't it? Really,
absolutely. But then you know what it's like with YouTube, and that you become a bit of a slave to the views, to the analytics.
Absolutely,
Absolutely. You put all that work in, chuck a vid out, and you lose 8 subscribers within the hour. You're just like, what? No. But still, it's part of it.
But it could be one of your better videos, though, can it?
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? I don't get it.
Where are the mountains in the middle of Spain? You're like, what do you want? Blood.
Right, last one from Craig. This will be the last question. Question for Bruce. Would you rather take one punch off Sean or a kick in the balls from Faye? Jesus.
The punch off me, man. You don't want it. She's strong.
Yeah. I think I'd take a punch off you because I'd just be knocked out and wouldn't know anything else about it, would I? Whereas a kick in the balls is going to hurt.
You don't want to kick off her fuck,
Kicking the balls is going to hurt for a long time.
Yeah, it's going to hurt for a while.
Right, guys, there are still loads and loads of questions. Shall we do a part 2 at some point? I'll get you back on and later on in the year.
You know what? Something. This has been a lot better than I expected. Brilliant. I wish this camera could pick up this here. It's actually tables full of empties in it.
Mate, your drinking prowess is impressive.
Well, and you know what? Anytime, but this has been loads better than expected.
Honestly,
awesome.
I've loved it.
I've loved it. Pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
We'll do it in person next time.
Yeah, that'd be even better. So when you go to CT, we get to CT, get here an hour early. We'll do it there.
I'm going to be bladdered on the way over. Right, you're on. Right, listen, before we draw it to a close, I'll hand it back over to you guys. Plug anything you want. Over to you.
I've nothing to plug.
What about your channel?
No, Bruce just said we can plug anything. We're not. We don't. We're not sponsored. So I'm going to fold my arms. I'm going to try and look muscly.
Would you like people to go to your channel, check it out?
Well, they fucking want. No, it's hard to say that. You know, we're here because of you, not because of us. We're here because of you, and it's you've got to come and see us.
Yeah, but
what you see on today, what you see on our videos, we're exactly the same. We're all different. We've not bigged it up. This is us all the time. That's how we are.
No, seriously though, we are just going with the flow. And as I said to you at the very, very beginning of this, we're just being organic in everything that we do. And however it develops, it will develop. And I am a strong believer with, things happen for a reason. And we're loving life at the moment. And we're just going with it, aren't we?
Yeah, then TeapotOne, as you going to fucking podcast, you cheap self. We're riding the out producer.
I'll tell you what, it's
totally enjoyed this. Thank you so much for having us on.
It's been an absolute fucking pleasure, brother. Absolute pleasure.
It's been a joy to chat with you.
Big cuddle.
Right, you're on. And Sean, obviously, as well. Thank you very much for coming on. Folks, check out the show notes. If you're listening to the podcast, check out the show notes. If you're watching the video, have a look at the description, and I'll leave links to Sean and Faye's channel. So please check that out. If you like it, give them a like, give them a follow, subscribe, all that sort of stuff.
Do whatever you want.
Exactly. Do your thing, but you're going to enjoy it. This is what you're going to get on the channel. Sean will be a little bit more sober behind the bars on the bike.
Never.
Not often.
No, he won't.
Not often.
And I'll leave links to all the socials. Guys, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we shall see each other in person, hopefully. Maybe we'll do a collab. Let's do something on the vids as well.
Forward to that.
Right,
make sure you get over here.
Right, we'll do it. Folks, hope you've enjoyed this one. Cool. What can I say? Just keep doing your thing. Look after those that you love. Get on out there whenever you can. But most importantly, live your life.
Live your life. Live your life.